Chapter 723, Si Yun-zi. Chapter 723, Si Yun-zi. Yi Mo caught things quickly. The moment he heard about the Jolan flower and his expression had slightly changed, he realized that Yun-zi was watching him. Thinking about this, Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense out. He saw that 150 m away in a room Yun-zi was holding a telescope. Yi Mo sneered. She had gotten quite some advanced products from the outside world. The reason he felt something was off when she mentioned the Jolan flower was because he knew Yun-zi was testing him. If he was the big-bearded man from the auction, he would care about the Jolan flower. Although Yi Mo didn't know what use it had in the ancient martial arts world, he knew it was very important there too. Otherwise, Yun-zi wouldn't be testing him with it. Yi Mo knew after this series of events Yun-zi had started suspecting him of being the big-bearded man from the auction, so she decided to test him with that precious herb. But when Yi Mo went over everything that had happened, he didn't believe he had made any mistakes. He should be the least suspected person. Why did Yun-zi suspect him, going so far as to test him? The Jolan flower was one of the 3 main ingredients for the Foundation establishment pill, but how did she know he was desperate for it? Seeing Yi Mo stop and frown, the green-clothed girl said, "Young Master Mo lead the way," Yi Mo said plainly. Since Yun-zi was already suspecting him, he might as well face her and choose where to expose himself. Also, there was another important reason for him to go. Yi Mo really wanted the Jolan flower. For their future cultivation path, he had to get the Jolan flower. Without it, he wouldn't be able to get the Foundation establishment pill. He didn't know any other recipe, and his required the Jolan flower. Seeing Yi Mo come over with Xiaoling, Yun-zi had a smile on her face and was determined. If I'm not wrong, it should be him. I'm sure he has a lot of secrets, Yun-zi murmured to herself and put the telescope away. Young Master Mo is here, the girl dressed in green called out from the door. Yun-zi pushed open the door and showed a sweet smile as she said using a very polite and soft voice, "Young Master Mo, it's an honor to be able to see you. Please come in. Xiaoling, pour a cup of tea for young Master Mo." "Yes, miss," the girl quickly left. "Young Master Mo, it was rude of me to invite you over like this. Please have a seat." Yun-zi treated Yi Mo as though he was a very strong qianbei. Yi Mo studied the room. The layout was high-class yet simplistic. He stared at Yun-zi. He had to admit she was a beauty no lesser than Mu Xiaoyun. She was tall and her beautiful hair hung on her shoulders. He could barely see any makeup on her face, but Yi Mo knew she had put on very light makeup. Looking at her protruding chest, Yi Mo could tell that she didn't restrain it at all, making it seem natural and elegant. She also had a smile on her face all the time, which made her seem amicable. But Yi Mo had a strange feeling about her. She looked amicable, but it wasn't that natural. Xia Ling brought over 2 cups of green tea and left the room. Yundu Mountain, Mist Peaks Mist Tea. "Young Master Mo, please have a taste." Yun-zi's face blushed a little after being stared at by Yi Mo for so long. However, she couldn't get angry, so she raised her cup and said this to Yi Mo. Then, she said, "Yundu Mountain belongs to Du-Yun sect, Mist Peak is the highest peak. Although I've been managing business for the Magical Merchant Association, I'm actually a member of the Du-Yun sect." Yi Mo already knew that Yun-zi was from the Du-Tien sect, that was no secret. Yi Mo nodded and drank from the cup. He said, "It certainly quenches one's thirst." Although it wasn't spirit kai, the tea had a special flavor to it. In the cultivation realm, a good cup of spirit kai could cost a few hundred spirit stones. Even Yi Mo hadn't been able to afford it before. Hearing this, Yun-zi opened her mouth speechless, but she soon smiled sweetly. "Mr. Mo's critique is quite unique." Then, Yun-zi said again, "Mr. Mo's wife is really a beauty out of this world. You are so fortunate." Yi Mo had decided to keep acting dumb, seeing that Yun-zi wasn't saying anything meaningful. Yi Mo smiled, "You're not bad either." Yun-zi heard this and her eyes sparkled with anger, but she quickly calmed down. She smiled sweetly again. "I heard that Mr. Mo was told to have no talent after being tested, but I feel your temperament isn't ordinary. How can you have no talent?" Seeing that Yi Mo didn't say anything, Yun-zi suddenly added, "Mr. Mo, I have a testing device here. If you're willing, I can test you again. Mine is more accurate than the ones out there. Yi Mo heard this and thought. He really wanted to know what his talent was and why he was cultivating so slow. Seeing that Yi Mo was interested, Yunzi took out a device from the closet. Yi Mo was shocked when she placed it on the table. It wasn't much different from the device used in the cultivation realm. It had 8 balls. In the past, the founder of Du Tian's test results said he had no talent, but he reached the highest state in the magical continent. Hence, he believed that the device wasn't reliable and went around looking for new ones. He found this in an ancient cultivation realm. Our founder used this and found out that not only did he have talent, it was also level 1 talent, Yunzi explained. Yi Mo thought about it. If Du Tian's sect could have such a special device, why didn't the other sects have it? Yunzi explained, this isn't much more useful than the devices outside because people with talent like our founder are quite rare, almost non-existent. Yi Mo nodded. If mutant spirit roots were everywhere, it would be strange. If you have inner qi, you can try putting your hand on this device and insert it, Yunzi said. She didn't doubt whether Yi Mo had inner qi. It was as though she knew Yi Mo had it. Chapter 724, 8-Element Mixed Spirit Root. Chapter 724, 8-Element Mixed Spirit Root. Yi Mo knew that since Yunzi was suspecting him, she had to have some kind of evidence. But if she was intent on blowing his cover, she wouldn't be calling him there. Instead, she would just go tell the Gemini Sword Sect and Forgery Hall. So Yi Mo straightforwardly put his hand on the device and inserted some Kai into it. The device buzzed, and all 8 balls lit up. They wasn't as bright as when Mu Xiaoyun did it, but it was still shocking. He had an 8-element spirit root? Yi Mo had never heard of such a spirit root. He had only heard of a 5-element mixed spirit root, but never of an 8-element mixed spirit root. That was simply unheard of. Yi Mo quickly took his hand back and didn't know what was going on. In the cultivation realm, spirit roots were divided into metal, wood, water, fire, earth, ice, lightning, and wind. There was also a spirit root called the dark spirit root, but that was usually born from a specific cultivation method. So it shouldn't be counted as a spirit root technically speaking. Usually, one only had one mutated spirit root at most. And normally none of the 5-element spirit roots would coexist with a mutated spirit root. Yet on him, all 8 existed. It would be weird if he could cultivate fast like that. To have a 5-element mixed spirit root was already trash talent, but 8-element mixed was trash amongst trash. Yi Mo didn't understand it, and Yunzi didn't understand even more. His talent was absurdly bad, no wonder other places tested that he had no talent. It was almost impossible to cultivate with such talent. Yunzi started doubting her guess now. If someone told her that a person with that kind of talent could kill a great heaven and injure a half-step great heaven, even she wouldn't believe it. Had she guessed wrongly? She believed that if Yi Mo was the person she had suspected him to be, then his talent should be the same as that of the founder of the Du Tian sect. What confused her, though, was that if this Mo Ying wasn't the big-bearded man, why was his back so similar to that man's? And when he heard the Jiolan flower, why did he act strangely? Were those just coincidences? As Yi Mo saw her face now, he immediately knew that although she still suspected him, but she wasn't too sure anymore. Thinking about this, he laughed at himself. It's the worst talent indeed, I knew it. Perhaps because Yi Mo turned out not to be the person she was looking for, Yunzi didn't want to keep talking to him, and she was about to send Yi Mo away. But since Yi Mo came he had to ask about the Jiolan flower. Goddess Zihua, why did you call for me? Was it just to test my talent for me? I already knew my talent, though. Yi Mo saw her disinterest and felt contempt. This woman was really practical, calling him over when she suspected him and kicking him away when she didn't need him anymore. Yunzi smiled. Mr. Mo, I am sorry, but to be honest I thought you were someone I knew, but now it has been proven that you're not. However, I wonder, why did you seem shocked when you heard about the Jiolan flower? Yi Mo sneered and said, it's because the flower can indeed recover my face. A Qianbei once told me so, but he said that the flower was very precious. When your maid told me I can recover my face, I didn't believe it at first, but after hearing it was the Jiolan flower, I believed her. Yunzi realized that she had indeed mistaken Mo Ying for the wrong person. Yunzi smiled and said slowly, I'm sorry, Mr. Mo, I admit that I used that as a reason for you to come, but the Jolan flower isn't something normal people can get. It's said that those who get it can reach great heaven with a 100% certainty. It's even a spiritual item used to reach above greater heaven, so I don't have this flower. Yi Mo knew she didn't have the flower, of course. If she did, he would have sensed it with his spirit sense immediately. Yi Mo wasn't going to be happy about having been tricked over by her, though, so his face sunk. Yunzi noticed it and said plainly, although I understand the flower is really important for you, my advice is that even if you got it, you wouldn't be able to keep it. Instead, you might only lose out. Also, although I'm not super pretty, I'm not ugly, so I don't think you lost out much coming here, right? Yi Mo sneered, Goddess Zihua, you're very pretty, but in my eyes my wife is the prettiest. To be honest, I would rather choose to stay at home with my wife. Seeing that Yi Mo had no intentions of leaving and his words were contemptuous, Yunzi spoke with annoyance, Jolan flower is said to be in the depth of Wu Wen Mountain. I have a map of the mountain here, it's yours, good luck. Then she just dumped the map in front of Yi Mo. Yi Mo picked it up and saw that it was marked clearly where each herb was found. But this was just the outskirts, it had no information on the inner mountain, but this was already enough for Yi Mo. Yi Mo put the map away and said, Thank you, how much for the map? Yunzi's mouth curled up, and she said with a sliver of contempt, I don't need money, it's for free. And although you have some inner chi, I suggest you don't go there. Never mind, goodbye then. Okay, I owe you one, goodbye. Yi Mo didn't want to talk anymore and just left. Young miss, the green-dressed girl walked in and looked at Yunzi in wonder. Yunzi rubbed her head and said strangely, he is strange, but is probably not that guy. Meanwhile, Yi Mo felt very good. Not only did he find out where the Jolan flower was, he also managed to erase that crazy B*TCH's suspicions of him. Yi Mo pushed open the door, and Mu Xiaoyun, who was talking to Ji Ilan, got up and sweetly called out, Husband. Brother Mo is back, I see. Ji Ilan turned to leave. Yi Mo felt great, his wife was still the best. Someone from Shangqing Mountain came over and told us that someone from their sect would be fighting with Liu Lei from Shu Mountain. Martial sister Ilan saw a stranger come, so she came too, Mu Xiaoyun immediately explained. Yi Mo smiled, very well, we will go watch it together tomorrow and see how Liu Lei kills his opponent. The ship would be traveling for a month at sea. For most people a month was boring and long, so there were many entertainment businesses on board. But most ancient martial arts practitioners rarely spent their time there, so it was more for the ordinary people on board. The death battle was the most eye-catching event for them. Even ancient martial artists liked this sort of fights, and there would be bets placed too. This was not only a battle between those two yellow levels, but the honor of their respective sects was at stake. Yi Mo took Mu Xiaoyun to the busy crowd at the fighting scene. Chapter 725, 3 Mistakes and 1 Move. Chapter 725, 3 Mistakes and 1 Move. I know that woman, she is the genius disciple that Ice Lake just recruited. She's said to be the best level 1 talent. So it's her. I remember that day. All of the big 3 sects wanted to take her, but that guy didn't want to, so they joined a 3rd grade sect in the end. Yes, it's like seeing a flower planted on dash. Be careful. Although Ice Lake is a 3rd grade sect, their power is still very strong. When Yi Mo and Mu Xiaoyun came in, people immediately started talking about them. Yi Mo didn't mind, but Mu Xiaoyun was angry about other people saying that about her husband. Yu Yuyan, who was about to go up to Yi Mo and scorn him, stopped. She finally understood how Yi Mo had managed to get there. He was relying on that woman of his. Yu Yuyan sneered. She was about to leave with Shangqing sect members when she suddenly thought of something, and her expression didn't look good. Mu Xiaoyun had gotten here and was Ice Lake's level 1 talent disciple. Then, what about the people Liao Wei had sent? Did he give up after not managing to catch Mu Xiaoyun? Liao Wei wouldn't dare do anything to her due to Shangqing Mountain. But, what reason did he have to fear Yi Mo and Mu Xiaoyun? Now that she thought about it, things didn't seem to be that simple. Martial sister Yuyan, Let's go a bit forward. Let's look at how martial brother Sima dominates the stage. A newcomer dared challenge our martial brother Sima. His asking to die. Someone from Chongqing was sucking up to Yu Yuyan. Martial sister Mu, you're also here? The new disciple Fei Qing and the other few disciples had also come to watch the show. Mu Xiaoyun smiled and nodded. Haha. Big brother Mo, I didn't see you before, but you're already here. Liu Lei saw Yi Mo and immediately approached him happily. He was younger than Yi Mo and admired him, so he had changed his way of addressing Yi Mo. Before Yi Mo could reply, someone sneered on the side, "You're about to die yet you're still this happy. I admire your audacity." Liu Lei looked at the person speaking. It was that Pan Cheng from Chongqing. He sneered at once. "Okay, then let's fight to death after I fight Sima Ping. Do you have the balls? If you don't have the balls, then don't talk *T in front of me. Ha ha ha. You want to fight to death with me? I want to kill you personally, but you won't have the chance to face me." Pan Cheng laughed. Liu Lei looked coldly at him. "I just asked if you have the balls to accept the challenge. If you don't, *SS off to the side." Pan Cheng suddenly started laughing out loud. He saluted with his fist to the people around and said, "Everyone, this guy thinks he will be able to fight to death with me after fighting martial brother Sima. Okay, I, Pan Cheng, agree. But I don't think martial brother Sima will give me the pleasure. Ha 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 ha." Liu Lei ignored him and said to Yi Mo, "Big brother Mo, I heard that everyone is betting that I will lose. Do you want to earn a little fortune?" Yi Mo smiled. He really wasn't interested in such small amounts. What he needed wasn't gold coins, but spirit herbs and spirit stones. Suddenly, there was a loud wave of claps. Yi Mo looked up. A man flew onto the stage. His movements were very sleek. He even flipped in mid-air and landed firmly on the stage. Although he looked very ugly, you could feel his power and control. He was at yellow level peak indeed, and he seemed to be less than 30 years old. "I'll go up first. This kid is already too bored of living," Liu Lei said and walked onto the stage slowly. However, his momentum was much worse than Sima Ping's. Although the scene was very boisterous, the real high-level martial artists rarely came to these events. It was more for lower-level disciples and merchants. "I heard that Mo Ying is friends with Liu Lei," Yunzi said. "Yes, young miss. I saw Mo Ying at Liu Lei's door. They met in Hangshui City. Should we go have a look?" Xiaoling asked. Yunzi shook her head. "There's nothing to see. It's a battle of two mere yellow-level disciples. Let's go back." Then, Yunzi glanced at Mu Xiaoyun and shook her head again. "What a pity. The battle begins now." A black-level guard was the judge. It was a very simple job. All he really had to say was begin. He didn't have to care about what went on in the fight. Regardless of the means used to kill the other person, it didn't matter. Sima Ping laughed and pulled out his long sword. With his current power, he could reach black level any time. He didn't need to worry about a yellow-level middle-stage disciple. "If you call me grandpa 3 times now and crawl under me, I'll only cut an arm and a leg," Sima Ping mocked him. "Of course, I'll have to take your life too. Dumsi *NT. Let's see if you talk *T when I take your life." Liu Lei was already holding his sword Ray, and he charged at Sima Ping's forehead. He dared to attack frontally. Sima Ping sneered, but his sneer quickly froze. Liu Lei's attack was too fast. It wasn't something that a yellow-level martial artist could do. Sima Ping was sure that without black-level inner chi, one couldn't attack that fast. Not even he could handle a sword that fast. Sima Ping was immediately scared to death. Instantly Sima Ping felt cold sweat. He only had the time to raise his sword to block it. Crank Liu Lei's curved sword didn't stop at all and hacked straight down. It was no fancy move or technique, it was a simple hack. But Sima Ping's sword couldn't even block it a little bit. When he felt the long sword in his hand lose strength, Sima Ping immediately knew he was over. In a life-and-death battle, any error could be fatal, and he had made 3. First, he didn't know his opponent's power. Second, he hadn't taken his enemy seriously. As if these two weren't fatal enough, The third one was that he hadn't known that his opponent's weapon was an extreme weapon. His sword hadn't even been able to block it a little. Sima Ping felt his eyebrows go cold and horror rose from the bottom of his heart. He had lost in one move. Boundless darkness swept over him. Sima Ping eventually felt his chest being kicked by a huge force as he flew away from the deck and landed in the sea. This happened in a brief moment. Most people hadn't even adjusted their expressions yet, but the battle was already over. It had been nothing like everyone had expected, so the whole scene was silent. The heavily promoted battle had ended in just a moment. How is this possible? Pan Cheng murmured. Liu Lei's roar made him shiver. Pan Cheng, it's your turn now. You said in front of everyone that you will fight me to death. I'm waiting for you here. You're a sect member of Shongqing Mountain. Don't let everyone think that you're a **SSY. Chapter 726. Many suspicious points. Chapter 726. Many suspicious points. Due to Liu Lei's words, the scene was in an uproar once again. That Sima Ping from Shongqing Mountain had been all talk. Even the Shu Mountain disciples themselves had to view Liu Lei in a different light. Although Liu Lei used one quick move to kill Sima Ping and it was sort of a sneak attack, he did kill Sima Ping in one go and then kicked him into the sea. Now that Liu Lei challenged Pan Cheng, everyone looked at Pan Cheng. The cheers were always for the victor. No one remembered that Sima Ping anymore. Pan Cheng looked at Liu Lei with a pale face. He felt his legs shake, he saw everyone look at him, and he suddenly yelled, "Liu Lei, you sneak attacked him, what are you feeling heroic about? If you hadn't sneak attacked him, how could you have beaten martial brother Sima?" Liu Lei laughed, "That's right, I made a surprise attack, so what will you do about it? Sue me for going against the rules? Bite me. Anyway, isn't it time for our deathmatch already? I'll give you a chance to sneak attack me, so come on and stop clenching your balls." Liu Lei's words immediately caused a wave of laughter and scorn. On the stage, no matter what means you used, as long as you could kill your opponent, you won. There was no such thing as sneak attacking being wrong. This Pan Cheng was clearly scared. No balls. **SS off. Trash. Scorn and curses came rolling, while Pan Cheng's face was very pale as he knew that even if he sneak attacked Liu Lei, he would be dead for sure. Liu Lei definitely wasn't merely at the yellow level middle stage. "Pan Cheng, if you don't dare come up then don't blame me for coming down and killing you." Liu Lei sneered, scaring Pan Cheng **less. If you agreed to a life and death battle, then you had to fight unless the other side let you go. He just told everyone that he would have a life and death battle with Liu Lei, and everyone knew by now. Even if he didn't dare to go up, Liu Lei could come down and kill him and no one would be allowed to intervene. Even the Shongqing Mountain members felt embarrassed at Pan Cheng's actions and moved away from him. Pan Cheng, who could no longer take it, hence charged on the stage like a madman, but his attack was truly messy. Liu Lei shook his head as he moved aside easily and swung his sword in return. Pan Cheng collapsed on the stage in relief. Liu Lei felt like both battles had really not been challenging. If he had known it would be like that, he wouldn't have sneak attacked Sima Ping. At least he would have tried to see what power he now had. No one would have thought the battle would end that quickly, and even Yi Mo didn't think that Sima Ping would be that useless. In one corner, a middle-aged man murmured to himself, "When I brought Liu Lei in, he was clearly at the yellow level middle stage. How can he suddenly have black level inner chi? Did he hide his power before, or did he gain some special stroke of fortune on the ship?" Liu Lei won the match and secretly also won a huge sum of gold coins, so he felt very satisfied. Just when he wanted to find Yi Mo, he was stopped by a martial brother from Shu Mountain who said an elder wanted to see him. Yi Mo saw this and knew that Liu Lei would surely become an inner sect member now. That was quite a high status to have. What? Liu Lei won? Sima Ping at the Yellow Peak lost to that yellow level middle stage Liu Lei? How did he win? Yunzi stood up in shock. Not only did Liu Lei win, he killed Sima Ping with one move. Sima Ping couldn't even resist, the green-dressed girl said. Yunzi frowned. Was our intel wrong? Was Liu Lei not yellow level but black level? But how was that possible? Yunzi had a record of all black-level warriors under 30. If Liu Lei was such a person, she would have long since tried to get in touch with him. Wait, that Mo Ying went to Liu Lei's room yesterday before coming to her. Was this related to that Mo Ying? There was no way he could make Liu Lei that strong in a few hours, right? Yunzi shook her head and said, "Go find out more about Liu Lei, see what his situation is like." Liu Lei soon announced that he had gotten a blue Liu carrot which had 2 flowers on it. He said he had been planning on using 1 flower at Yellow Peak to reach the Black level and 1 at Black level peak to reach the Earth level, but due to the challenge he was forced to eat both at the same time. Due to him reaching Black level before 30, he became an inner sect member of the Shu Mountain Sword sect. It was the blue Liu carrot, no wonder he could reach Black level. That's a herb useful even for reaching the Earth level, what a pity. But he sure is lucky, Yunzi murmured to herself. Meanwhile, the heads of the big hidden sects had gathered. They weren't discussing Liu Lei, but the clash between the Gemini Sword sect and the Forgery Hall. Both sects had many other allies after all. Gemini Sword sect had many pretty female members, and since they knew some dual cultivation techniques that would boost the cultivation speed of both sides when the members of other sects married the Gemini Sword sect female members, the sect had many allies. Forgery Hall had the support of even more sects because they forged the best weapons on the continent, and most sects would buy their weapons from them. Due to this, many sects were trying to work out a peaceful solution. And so the sect leaders of both parties were still able to control themselves and didn't have any big fights after so many days. Of course, that was mainly due to them having found many points worthy of suspicion. However, thinking about his son's pitiful death, Qi Yushin almost couldn't control himself as he looked at the vice sect leaders of Forgery Hall, Xia Chongyang and Wen Haud, in anger. Chapter 727, Seem to have known each other. Chapter 727, Seem to have known each other. After hearing his words, everyone was shocked. If what Elder Zhong said was true, then someone was definitely setting them up. No wonder Qi Yushin could resist the pain of losing his son and not fight Xia Chongyang to death. He managed to injure vice sect leader Xia, kill Elder Ming and frame the wrong person. Then, he took Wei Wu to Hangshui City and left casually. This person, an elder said in shock. Everyone knew what he meant. He was saying that this guy was absurdly strong. Only masters above Great Heaven middle stage could do that. Moreover, this person had efficiently left all these tricks and misleading clues, which meant that he hadn't gotten heavily injured in the end. And, Ling Wuxue said slowly, I found another suspicious point that helped me confirm that he was the one who harmed Elder Ming. Also, this clue leads to thinking that this person might have come from the outside world. What? Everyone almost stood up in shock. They knew what the outside meant. The magical continent was said to be a world separated from the main Earth by ancient beings with unimaginable power. But that was just a legend. Due to countless years having passed, the cultivation world could only cultivate ancient martial arts. But even so, it was still shocking what one could do when having reached the extreme of ancient martial arts. Only people from the smaller world could go out, and those from the outside couldn't come in. Ling Wushue's words meant that now that people from the outside world could come in and even kill Great Heaven Masters. Elder Ling, it's not that we don't believe you, but this is too shocking. Another middle-aged man stood up. To them, it was a rather big thing because it was said that the technology from outside was advanced, one bomb could blow up an entire city. No matter how strong their ancient martial arts were, they couldn't beat that sort of bomb. Ling Wuxue waved his hand, that is just my guess. Because when Elder Ming died and left the message forgery behind, that man left it to draw suspicion on Forgery Hall. However, he didn't know that in the magical continent the word forgery has 2 extra dots, so he didn't add them. According to what we know, in China, in the outside world, they don't write the 2 dots when they write the character forgery. Thus, I suspect his from the outside. Of course, there's also the possibility that someone in here is accustomed to the writing style from outside, but that's not very likely. No matter what, Elder Ming wouldn't have written that. Qi Yushin saw everyone look at him and he nodded, that's right, I just found out about that a few days ago, the word was very blurry. I told Elder Ling yesterday, but even so, Xia Chongyang is still suspicious. He could have done this on purpose. Everyone could tell that Qi Yushin was a lot more reasonable. At least he knew that this probably didn't have anything to do with Forgery Hall. Yet, he couldn't find a target for revenge, so that's why he's clinging on to Xia Chongyang. That big-bearded man's gold checks all came from the Magical Merchant Association, so we asked Zihua Goddess. Apparently, he brought a large stack of gold bricks to trade for those gold checks. But where did he get that many gold bricks from? How did he bring them inside Hang Shui City? Zhong Changwen asked. Did the Magical Merchant Association not investigate this? The Magical Merchant Association only does business with people. They never investigate the customer. I've already asked Zihua Goddess about this, Zhong Changwen immediately said. Xia Chongyang was still silent, but Wen Haod said, this person injured our vice sect leader and killed Wei Wu. No matter who he is or where he comes from, we won't let him go. A middle-aged woman from Du Tian sect sneered, so what if you won't let him go? Do you know who he is? Furthermore, he can kill a great heaven master, which means that he's at great heaven too. Even if you meet him, what will you do about it? And he's a great heaven master at a very young age, that's quite formidable. Seeing that Wen Haod was about to rage, Ling Wuxire waved his hand. Other than all heaven sects Du Qianbei, who reached great heaven at the age of 45, there has been no other person in the magical continent who could reach great heaven before that age. I'm not sure if that person is great heaven for sure. Elder Ming died from a sneak attack. From this we can confirm that if he is at great heaven, he's at most as strong as Elder Ming. TL note, Du Tian, all heaven. Ling Wuxire was implying that if the culprit was only at Elder Ming's level, he had no concerns. Elder Jiezian, has your Elder Jiezun come back yet? Ling Wuxire suddenly asked something irrelevant. Jiezian shook her head. Not only did Jiezun not come back yet, but a core disciple also didn't come back. Martial Sister Jiezian, I got news that in the mortal land someone from your sect used your sect's hidden sects order to capture a young man called Yimo. First, she searched by identity, which wasn't effective, then she drew an image. I have an image of Yimo here, everyone can take one, Zhong Changwen said. Then, he said, perhaps when Martial Sister Jiezian goes back to your sect, Daoist Jiezun will be back too. Maybe Jiezun knows about why the core disciple of Kuan Qian sect, Qi Yulin, disappeared. So if Jiezun comes back, please inform me. What? Jiezian was clearly shocked by this news. She didn't even know the missing elder from her sect had came back, and someone else knew. If Jiezun had returned, why didn't she go back to her sect as soon as possible? Why use a hidden sect's order in a mortal city? Daoist Jiezian, did your other two disciples come back? Another elder from Kuan Qian sect asked. Jiezian's face looked unhappy. They hadn't even told her Jiezun had appeared yesterday and now they were questioning her. She said coldly, your Kuan Qian sect's elders don't need to care about our disciples. Zhong Changwen knew that if this continued, they might start fighting. He wanted to use this meeting to pressure Jiezian into saying why Jiezun had used the hidden sect's order and how had she come back. However, from her expression, it seemed she really didn't know Jiezun was back. The meeting dispersed with general unhappiness. After Liu Lei won the fight, an elder immediately took him in as a disciple. The pressure on cultivation of inner sect members was very high. They had to use most of their time on board to cultivate, so he didn't have time to find Yimo and he didn't go look for him either. Even though Yimo knew that Jiezun wasn't on the ship, he didn't go out much. He knew that he should keep a low profile. A few days passed quickly. Yimo didn't know that because he had stayed in his room all day, he had saved himself a lot of trouble. When the ship reached the shore, all the disciples rejoiced. No one liked living on the sea all the time. Under the leadership of the sect elders, the disciples got off the ship quickly. Yimo and Mu Xiaoyun also left the dock with Ice Lake's people. Yunzi bid farewell to the sect elders. She had her own business, so she didn't have to go back. Wait, an elder stopped Yunzi. He gave an image to her. This person is very important. Your merchant association is all over the place, try to find him. Oh. Yunzi took the painting and looked at it. Immediately, She realized something looked familiar. Chapter 728, Entering Ice Lake. Chapter 728, Entering Ice Lake. What's wrong, Z? The elder asked when he saw Yunzi in a daze. Oh, nothing. I just feel that the person on the painting is young, has a nice temperament, and he is quite handsome too. The elder was surprised and laughed. Goddess Zihua actually called this man handsome. He would be overjoyed if he knew. But really, this man is very important, and he might be related to something significant, so report back to the sect as soon as you get news of him. Well then, we'll be going now. Yes, Elder Ku, Yunzi answered. Miss Xiao Ling said something, but Yunzi waved her hand. Let's go back to the association. We've been out for too long this time. Although her tone was calm, Yunzi wasn't calm on the inside at all. She finally remembered this man reminded her a lot of Mo Ying. She looked at Yi Mo's face for a long time, and if his face weren't ruined. Was it really him? If it was, why would the elder be looking for someone like him? Although Yunzi couldn't ask the elder directly why they were looking for this person, she could find out through other means. The first impression Yi Mo had after stepping foot onto the hidden sect's land was that the mountains were all joined together and that the spirit Kai there was much denser than in other places. Although it wasn't at an extremely superb level, it was much better than in the cities outside. Yi Mo and Mu Xiaoyun followed after a chariot for almost 4 days before entering a mountain range. They rarely met any people on the way, but Yi Mo still found a few places where a pretty big number of people lived. Ji Ilan said that these small towns were mostly there to serve the hidden sects. Although many people were taken in as outer sect members, they were rarely ever able to reach a high level and so could only eventually fade out of the hidden sects to become people who work for the hidden sects. Some left the hidden sects and gradually formed small settlements like that. This is Ice Lake. Ji Ilan pointed at the mountain range ahead. Yi Mo was surprised. He thought that since the sect was called Ice Lake, there should be a lake, but there wasn't even a small ravine to be seen. Ji Ilan smiled as though knowing what Yi Mo was thinking and said, "You must be wondering why there isn't a lake here when we're called Ice Lake?" Guessing from the name, one would be only half correct. Ji Ilan seemed a lot happier after coming back to Ice Lake, even though Ji Ilan always covered her face. Yi Mo knew why she did that, because when he looked at her with his spirit sense, he could see that she was very pretty, but there was a flaw to her looks. Without it, she would be on par with Mu Xiaoyun, but this flaw extended from her face to her chin and ruined her entire face. There is indeed a lake in Ice Lake, but it's inside our sect. We got our name from that lake. The lake water is very cold, it's even colder than ice, but it actually never forms ice, Ji Ilan explained with pride. Yi Mo could feel there was much more spirit Kai being emitted there than on the outside and started to like the place. After another 2 hours of traveling, a large green meadow appeared before their eyes. In the center of the grassland was a big lake. This lake was too pretty. Even though there was no wind, there were slight ripples on the lake's surface, and it was much bigger than, for example, the Luoyu Lake. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense in and found that his spirit sense couldn't even reach the bottom. After Yi Mo and company went further in, the inner and outer sect members were separated. Ice Lake wasn't small, having a couple hundred disciples, but most were outer sect disciples. There didn't seem to be a lot of inner sect disciples, much less core disciples. Mu Xiaoyun was a core disciple, so she could enter the core sector to cultivate if she wanted, but she just didn't want to leave Yi Mo. There was nothing Ji Ilan could do about it. No matter how talented Mu Xiaoyun was, she couldn't take irrelevant people into the core sector. And so, the two would be living at the outer sect area. Mu Xiaoyun chose a quiet and far-off place. Although Mu Xiaoyun was talented, she couldn't take on Ice Lake's cultivation method before they dealt with her and Yi Mo's relationship. Ice Lake didn't have any way to deal with Mu Xiaoyun's stubbornness. They were waiting for Mu Xiaoyun to change her mind while also desperately thinking of other ways. A few days later, Ice Lake even had a meeting about it, and all the core members came. Other than the Super Master Grandma Feng, there were also still a few Earth-level masters in the sect. A middle-aged woman who was of similar age to Miao Lian said, "Grandma, I think Mu Xiaoyun is simply a kind soul. I've seen that Mo Ying too, so why don't we dash?" She then made a slicing motion with her hand. She was one of Ice Lake's Earth-level elders. Definitely not, Elder Luo, you don't understand Mu Xiaoyun's character. If we do that, the only thing left for us to do will be to kill her too. She is extremely loyal to her husband, and there's no way to change that. I'm thinking we might as well accept that Mo Ying as a core member as we dash. She was interrupted by Grandma, who waved her hand. Miao Lian stood up and said slowly, Elan is right, Mu Xiaoyun's character is like that indeed. Mu Xiaoyun will be very useful to us during the sect tournament in a few years. As Elan needs to fully take over Ice Lake, she needs someone like Xiaoyun to help her. Elder, why don't we go talk to that Mo Ying? I don't think he's an unreasonable person. I'm sure he will understand, Ji Elan said. Elder Feng nodded and sighed, let's do that. I heard that Mo Ying is in solitary training right now, so you can have a talk with him afterwards. I feel myself getting more and more sick. If we can't quickly gain some backup power, our third grade status will be in danger. A talentless person is in solitary training? What a joke. Elder Luo sneered. Meanwhile, Yi Mo wasn't in solitary training for cultivation but for making pills. He only had one earth spirit fruit, so in order to prevent himself from failing, he made many other pills before making the essence increasing pill with the earth spirit fruit. After 10 days of warming up, he felt ready to make the essence increasing pill, so he took out the earth spirit fruit, Ming Jie grass, Man Tian star, and double leaf mushroom. Although the essence increasing pill was 2 levels higher than the Kai increasing pill, Yi Mo still managed to make it successfully after all of his preparation. He acquired 12 pills in the end. The maximum yield of a concoction was supposed to be 24, but Yi Mo was very happy to have made 12. Yi Mo told Mu Xiaoyun about it and started to break through to stage 6. When he reached stage 6, he would go out to find some ancient ruins and get a cultivation method for Mu Xiaoyun. The essence increasing pill turned into spirit Kai as soon as it entered his mouth and started charging at his meridians. Yi Mo had been at stage 5 for a long time, so he easily reached stage 6 soon after. Yi Mo felt his power had increased quite a bit, and if he met that nun, Jie Zun, again, she wouldn't be able to get away from him. Yi Mo felt his spirit sense had also gotten a lot stronger, so he once again sent his spirit sense into the golden dot. Chapter 729, Can't Let Go. Chapter 729, Can't Let Go. Yi Mo was just testing his luck, but this time, his spirit sense wasn't pushed back by the golden dot. It was indeed because his spirit sense had been too weak that he hadn't been able to go in before. But after Yi Mo's spirit sense went in, it took just an instant before all of his Kai and spirit sense got sucked up by the golden dot like the last time. Yi Mo cursed. He tried to take back his spirit sense, but it disappeared into nothing like last time. When Yi Mo thought he was going to faint again, he saw a grey world. A strong gust of information was implanted into his head. Yi Mo heard a light sound in his brain. However then, his consciousness was pushed out of the golden dot. Even though, Yi Mo rejoiced, he had guessed right. It really was a world. Yi Mo now knew that a grey world was inside the golden dot. He only needed to recover the lost essence Kai and spirit sense. It was all because he was too weak. If his power reached a certain extent, this wouldn't happen. Yi Mo took out the spirit Kai to recover, but he suddenly dazed. The information that entered his brain had gathered now. The world was formed from chaos, matter exists forever. Strengthen life and nourish the spirit, so mind and spirit reach the truth. Contemplate the spirit harness the liquid, the gate of fortune. The opening stanza had been clearly imprinted in Yi Mo's head. As that finished, the words primordial fortune chant got stuck into Yi Mo's brain. Yi Mo stood up in shock. Was it a cultivation method chant? He understood those words. It was an extremely high-level cultivation method, he had never even heard of it. Although he was a cultivator, he was just a very low-level cultivator on Luoyu continent. His cultivation method was also average. Yi Mo looked at the cultivation chant and knew it was countless times stronger than before. Even without foundation establishment state, he could condense his spirit Kai into spirit essence. What shook Yi Mo was that it was a no-element cultivation method. Yi Mo had never seen one before, but he had heard these ones were extremely precious. Long time ago on Luoyu continent, a no-element cultivation method appeared. Due to that cultivation method, countless sects were annihilated and countless masters were gone. Eventually, the cultivation method disappeared and things finally calmed down. He actually had gotten something like this. If people on Luoyu continent found out, he would be dead for sure. However, the only pity was that the information stopped at Foundation establishment state. Perhaps because my power is too low, I can't access the rest of the information. Yimo sat down slowly again. It all had happened too suddenly. He had to think about his future path of cultivation. When Yimo read the entire cultivation method again, he calmed down. It could be said that it was the most suitable cultivation method for him because he had an 8-element mixed spirit root. But there were also some disadvantages. The resources the cultivation method required were absurd. It was almost impossible to reach a certain level with the resources on that realm's earth. Secondly, he would have to give up his current power. This was very hard for Yimo, at least for now. He didn't want to do it. He had finally reached stage 6. If he abandoned all his power, then even with the cultivation method, he might never have the resources to get back to stage 6. Thirdly, this cultivation method stopped at Foundation establishment state. Yimo didn't know if he could accomplish the latter parts. Even if he could, he would have to reach a certain level to be able to get it. What if he could reach it? Eventually, Yimo decided not to cultivate the primordial fortune chant. He needed the power to protect himself. If he couldn't find large amounts of resources, he would rather never cultivate primordial fortune chant. But Yimo knew that he could teach it to Mu Xiaoyun. She didn't have a cultivation method and this one suited her too. Although it was a resource-wasting cultivation method, Yimo was simply happy to find a cultivation method for Mu Xiaoyun. Seeing him come out, Mu Xiaoyun greeted him joyfully. She was a bit worried since Yimo had been in there for long. Xiaoyun, did Ji Ilan come to talk to you again? Yimo scanned with his spirit sense and knew that Ji Ilan had just left. Mu Xiaoyun nodded. Yes, she has came to see me a few times, but I haven't agreed with her. I told her I want to stay with my husband. However, today she came to find you. I told her you were in solitary training, so she said she would come again tomorrow. Xiaoyun, I found a cultivation method for you. I will teach you and you can cultivate first. I'm going out, you can wait for me to come back. Mu Xiaoyun immediately began to worry. She grabbed Yimo's hand and said, Yi babe, are you leaving? I'm going with you. Yimo hugged her and said softly, you're very safe here. We need resources for cultivation. Without them, we can only stay like this for the rest of our lives. Your power is still weak and I'm going to a dangerous place. I told you, the main reason I came here was to find cultivation resources. Yi babe, doesn't it feel good living like this together and getting old together? Why do we cultivate? I am very happy now. Mu Xiaoyun really didn't want to leave Yimo. Yimo rubbed her hair caringly and said after a long while, Xiaoyun, I also want to grow old with you, that's also a kind of happiness. But I love you guys too much, a few decades of life isn't enough. I want to stay with you guys forever. And, even if we want to live a peaceful life, others won't let us. Without cultivation, I would have been killed long ago. Yi babe, sorry. But I really don't want to leave your side. Mu Xiaoyun knew that Yimo was adamant on leaving. Her husband was right, without power they would have been dead long ago. She could only look down and slowly sob. Xiaoyun, I'll teach you the cultivation method. It's called primordial fortune chan. Yimo hadn't even finished when his mouth was blocked by Mu Xiaoyun's. Her husband was going to leave her, she felt she couldn't let go. This was the first time she took the initiative to do it. It was the first time Yimo saw Mu Xiaoyun act like this. No matter what he had to tell her, it could wait at a moment like this. The clothes were gradually taken off. When Mu Xiaoyun hugged Yimo's sturdy body, she then realized what she was doing. It was daylight. She completely blushed. She couldn't control the impulses in her heart when facing with her husband's departure. It was terror of losing everything again. Before being with Yimo, Mu Xiaoyun had never been this happy. Yimo wiped her tears. He was even considering taking her with him, but he couldn't assure his own safety in the Wu Wen mountain, much less Mu Xiaoyun's. Xiaoyun, trust me, I'm just going to find herbs. Wait for me here. I will take you with me when I come back. When the storm settled, it was already the afternoon. Yet, Yi Mo still had to comfort Mu Xiaoyun in his arms. Chapter 730, Entering Wu Wen City. Chapter 730, Entering Wu Wen City En. Mu Xiaoyun was squirmed into Yi Mo's arms like a cat. Yi Mo knew that the primordial fortune chant needed large amounts of resources. After he taught this cultivation method to Mu Xiaoyun, he gave most of his pills and spirit stone to Mu Xiaoyun as well as the gold checks. He just left a few essence-increasing pills and some other ordinary pills for himself. Yi babe, what if they ask me to study the ice lake cultivation method? Mu Xiaoyun thought that after Yi Mo left, she would enter the core sector. Yi Mo smiled, just cultivate the primordial fortune chant, you don't need to cultivate the ice lake cultivation method. It's enough if you just have a look and use your Kai to imitate the moves when necessary. Soon, the day became night, and because Mu Xiaoyun worked too hard during the day, she fell asleep as soon as she went to bed after dinner. Yi Mo didn't sleep. He added some gung metal essence to Mu Xiaoyun's flying sword and made a few more bottles of pills and left that in Mu Xiaoyun's ring before going to sleep. He didn't know how long he would be gone this time. He didn't want Mu Xiaoyun's cultivation to stop because she didn't have enough pills. When it was the next day, Yi Mo made breakfast and came to the bedside, kissed Mu Xiaoyun who was sound asleep, and said softly, Xiaoyun, I'm going. Cultivate hard, remember to eat well, and sleep well. Wait for me to come back. Then, Yi Mo left. His spirit sense had already picked up on Ji Ilan who was coming over. Yi Mo didn't have anything to say to her, so he just climbed onto his flying sword and shot up into the sky. Yi Mo knew that Mu Xiaoyun had just woken up, but he didn't call out to her anymore. Mu Xiaoyun ran to the door barefoot and looked at the sword as it disappeared. She couldn't control her tears. She had woken up once in the middle of the night, really wanting Yi Mo to just hug her and sleep, but she knew Yi Mo had things to do then, and she knew it now too. Martial sister Xiaoyun, what are you? Ji Ilan had come again wanting to persuade Yi Mo into letting Mu Xiaoyun go, but she saw Mu Xiaoyun standing at the door barefoot and crying. Mu Xiaoyun wiped her endless tears and sniffed, husband has left. Her. Ji Ilan was shook but immediately understood how good this was. That Mo Ying probably realized that it wasn't good to keep Mu Xiaoyun here, so he left Ice Lake. Thinking about this, Ji Ilan had a much better impression of him. But Ji Ilan immediately thought, Mo Ying is just an ordinary person, it's practically suicide for him to leave this mountain range. But as Ji Ilan looked at the still deeply sad Mu Xiaoyun, she didn't dare to say that. What if she chased Mo Ying like crazy? Besides, Mo Ying's death would be good for Mu Xiaoyun. After some time and after meeting more people, she would forget about her husband. Xiaoyun, what is this food on the table? Ji Ilan saw the fully prepared breakfast on the table and asked. It was exquisitely laid out and had everything you could want. Even Ji Ilan couldn't help but gulp once. Your husband made it, and Ji Ilan asked in shock. Mu Xiaoyun nodded, yes, husband made it for me. Ji Ilan suddenly felt some enlightenment. She didn't think that coarse-looking man would be this meticulous. Was this the reason why Mu Xiaoyun couldn't leave him? Ji Ilan quickly shook her head, that was impossible. Mu Xiaoyun calmed her mood and let Ji Ilan sit down while she cleaned herself and changed. Martial sister Ilan, if you haven't had breakfast then eat some. Then I won't say no. Ji Ilan had long since wanted to eat the food on the table, but she had been embarrassed to ask. When Ji Ilan bit the lotus leaf egg, she immediately knew that this wasn't something ordinary people could make. She subconsciously asked Mu Xiaoyun, Xiaoyun, is your husband a chef? No, he isn't. Mu Xiaoyun shook her head. Soon, Ji Ilan finished and looked at Mu Xiaoyun in embarrassment. Sorry, Xiaoyun, your husband's cooking is too good, I ate a little much. It's fine, when my husband comes back he will cook me more. Mu Xiaoyun shook her head. Ji Ilan just wanted to talk when she felt a heat rise up in her body, and her inner qi seemed more condensed. Mu Xiaoyun explained, that's normal, martial sister Ilan, don't worry, husband likes to put some herbs in his cooking. It's good for cultivation. Hey! Ji Ilan looked at Mu Xiaoyun in shock. That was easy to say, but it was very hard to mix herbs into cooking. Was her husband a herbal master? Should she tell Grandma? Ji Ilan thought and shook her head. It would be best not to. It wouldn't be good if that caused more trouble. Xiaoyun, now that your husband left Ice Lake, why don't you come live with me? Ji Ilan remembered her main purpose. Mu Xiaoyun nodded. Wu Wen City, it was a not too small city in the hidden sects. It was 150 kilometers from Wu Wen Mountain, and there were always people there. Some were merchants, but most people there were ancient martial artists who came to gather herbs in the surroundings. Some sects also looked for disciples there. Although Wu Wen Mountain itself, which had an abundance of herbs, was only accessible once every 5 years with limited spots, the countless mountain ranges near it also had many herbs. Sometimes, pretty rare herbs were found. Hence, many people picked herbs there. As soon as those who gathered herbs left the mountain, there would be people ready to buy them. After some time, this cycle of supply and demand formed Wu Wen City. Yi Mo headed straight to Wu Wen City after leaving Ice Lake. Others would need a week to get to Wu Wen Mountain from Ice Lake, but Yi Mo took less than an hour. There were still 5 months left before the mist would dissipate, but Yi Mo wouldn't wait that long to go in with others. After half an hour, Yi Mo saw Wu Wen City. He came down from his flying sword and entered it. Yi Mo wanted to buy some daily items and then find out more about Wu Wen Mountain. But as soon as he entered the city, he noticed a huge uproar. Chapter 731, I like to kill Tai sect's people. Chapter 731, I like to kill Tai sect's people. You people are so unreasonable, a coarse female voice sounded. After that, someone immediately sneered, unreasonable. Our Tai sect is a special grade sect, how could we be unreasonable to people like you? Many people here saw it, who didn't follow the rules first. You took back your words and you're saying that I, Jin Sungliang, am being unreasonable. Yi Mo shook his head. He was about to walk away, but his spirit sense scanned what the man next to the woman held in his hand and immediately stopped. He covered his face with a black cloth and squeezed into the crowd. He didn't want what he did there to affect Mu Xiaoyun. Luckily, most of people's attention was caught by the ruckus and no one noticed Yi Mo. On one side, there were 2 Tai sect members and a servant next to them. In front of 3 members, there were a man and a woman. They seemed to be a couple. The woman was good-looking and the man looked very sturdy. Yi Mo had squeezed into the crowd because he had seen a handful of blood cherries in the man's hand. Blood cherries were one of the main ingredients for making the Great Kai increasing pill. In the cultivation realm, a blood cherry could be sold for 30 spirit stones. What's wrong? Yi Mo intervened. Yi Mo was dressed very ordinarily and had a strange smell. Everyone just glanced at Yi Mo and didn't reply to him. They were very confused as to why someone with his face covered would do this. He was covering his face to avoid trouble, wasn't he? You have no business here. If you don't want trouble, *SS off, a Tai sect member sneered. The woman wouldn't let it go, of course. She said, my husband and I have been gathering herbs near the Wu Wen City and we were lucky to find 12 blood cherries. However, these 2 people here are using their sect's name as a mean to buy our herbs for a low price. We don't want to sell it, but they're trying to force us. Yang Xin, just give them what they want. We can't mess with them, but we can avoid it, the man said. Yi Mo laughed, so, you're forcing them to sell the cherries? How can there be such shameless people in the world? Who are you calling shameless? We're from the Tai sect, choose your words carefully. That sect member didn't seem scared at all, he was instead threatening Yi Mo. The other sect member stepped forward and said, friend, we never tried to force them. These 2 found the blood cherries and were selling them here. 2 people wanted to buy them and I said the highest bidder should get it. They agreed, but after I made a bid, no one did any more. How is this forcing someone? Friend, reason with us, are they taking their word back or are we forcing them to sell it? Oh, how much did you offer? Yi Mo suddenly asked. 50 gold coins, the man hesitated and said. Yi Mo sneered. Here, just a blood cherry was worth 600 gold coins, yet he wanted to buy 12 for 50. Moreover, he had said it in such a self-righteous way. Yimo looked around and immediately realized that simply no one dared to bid, not because they didn't want to bid. Thinking about this, Yimo smiled to the couple. Two friends, these two men are right. You're selling stuff. The highest bidder should get it, or is it that the lowest bidder get it? The woman was at a loss for words. She had been hoping for Yimo to help them out, but that random guy who had stood up for them was actually sucking up to the two people from Tai sect. Ha ha ha. Friend, you have wits. Of course, the highest bidder gets it, the one who had told Yimo to piss off laughed. He had just realized that this man was also sucking up to them. The people around shook their heads, but they were used to it. But before the Tai sect member finished laughing, Yimo took out a 10k gold check and gave it to the man. I'll pay 10k gold coins. My offer is higher than this, right? If you're satisfied with it, then these blood cherries belong to me. The man was dazed. The woman saw this and immediately reacted. She handed out the blood cherries and took the gold check, very satisfied, very satisfied. Then, she looked at him gratefully and said, thank you. You're F***king asking to die. One of Tai sect member had reacted and was about to attack. Yimo's expression sunk, a curved sword suddenly appeared in his hand. A ray flashed in front of his eyes and the sect member was cut in half. Blood was splurged onto the streets and the crowd turned silent. In Wu Wen City, there were frequent fights, but even if these were to death, they weren't resolved in the city. However, this man was so brutal that he had killed someone inside the city and what's more, it was someone from the Tai sect. It was absurd. You dare to kill one of our Tai sect disciples, the other member pointed at Yimo in fury and shock. But before he could finish, Yimo's sword flashed again and he was also cut in half. The remaining servant was scared and pale. Yet he knew that if he said any kind of bullsh*t, he would be killed immediately. The couple also hadn't expected Yimo to kill inside the city, and especially not someone from the Tai sect. But the woman reacted fast. She knew that if they didn't leave quickly, they would be dead for sure too. She took out a booklet and gave it to Yimo. Big brother, this is yours. You should leave quickly. We'll be leaving too. Then she dragged the man out and quickly left. Yimo smiled. He had killed them intentionally, of course. He had come seeking revenge against the Tai sect and it was just the beginning. He didn't believe that anyone in the city could do anything to him. By the time the masters came, he would be in the Wu Wen mountain. Yimo opened the booklet. It was a map of where the popular herbs were. It was very detailed. Yimo put the booklet away and felt grateful to that woman. As soon as Yimo did this, at least 6 ancient martial artists landed next to him. There was one at half-step Great Heaven, 3 at Earth Primary Stage, 1 at Earth Middle and 1 at Earth Tertiary Stage. Friend, you dare to kill inside the Wu Wen City. Put down your weapon and come with us, the Earth-level Tertiary Stage martial artist said. Yimo suddenly sneered, is there anyone from the Tai sect here? I'm from the Tai sect. What are you going to do? You're a mere black level, yet you dare to kill someone from Tai in this city, the Earth-level man said with a cold voice. If it wasn't that he didn't know who Yimo was yet, he would have killed him already. Great, I like to kill Tai sect's people. Then, Yimo moved. The Earth-level Tertiary Stage man seemed to see a sword ray come down from his forehead. He was scared to death and wanted to dodge without thinking, but as soon as he tried to move, an invisible force pushed him back to where he was. Then, he felt his head was cold. Inner chi wall Great Heaven then, his mind sunk into darkness. The 5 people were shocked. An Earth-level Tertiary Stage martial artist couldn't even last a single attack. Chapter 732, Who is it? Chapter 732, Who is it? A Great Heaven Master could do whatever he wanted in Wu Wen City, while someone who could instantly kill an Earth-level Tertiary Stage cultivator was no ordinary Great Heaven Master. So you wanted to capture me? Yimo suddenly looked at that half-step Great Heaven and asked. No, Qianbei, it's because the half-step Great Heaven shivered. He knew that one wrong word and he would be killed too. Yimo's continued in his plain tone, because I killed someone from the Tai sect. Well you see, I like killing Tai sect members. So which of you are from Tai? Tell me your names. No, none of us are from Tai, other than Dash the half-step Great Heaven said shakily. Then why are you still standing here? P*SS off. I need to buy something in Wu Wen City, and if I see you blind idiots again, I won't be repeating myself. Yimo turned and left. Seeing Yimo leave, the five heaved a sigh of relief. City Lord. Ignore him, we need to go back and report this to Tai immediately. Yimo gave almost all his gold checks to Mu Xiaoyun. Even with the loose change on him, he only had about 70k gold coins left. But that was enough to buy a lot of things. Not every herb was as expensive as blood cherries. News of what Yimo did spread quickly, and so everywhere he went, no one dared look at him for long. Even glances were done in secret. When Yimo bought herbs at shops, the shop owners even sold it to him cheaper than the import price in fear of offending this killing god. Yimo was speechless. He was only targeting the Tai sect. But since they reduced the price, he wouldn't be kind enough to give them more than they asked. Yimo bought a lot of things in Wu Wen City, and most of the herbs were fresh. Half a month later, Yimo finally left Wu Wen City, leaving under everyone's worried eyes. Actually though, many people stood on Yimo's side for killing the Tai sect members who were usually so oppressive. Tai sect members had been targeted and killed in Wu Wen City. This alerted Tai sect's Great Heaven Master, and even other sects hurried to Wu Wen City at first notice. Who could be this bold? Not too long before, someone had dared to set up and kill Gemini Sword Sect and Forgery Hall members, and now someone dared to kill Tai sect members overtly in Wu Wen City. There sure were a lot of bold people nowadays. Hearing this news, Yunzi stood in front of a balcony for a long time before saying to the green-dressed girl next to her, Xiaoling, pack our things, I'm going to Ice Lake to see Elder Feng. She didn't want to see Elder Feng but wanted to see that Mo Ying. She immediately thought of Mo Ying upon hearing the news of what happened in Wu Wen City, because she knew Mo Ying had been interested in Wu Wen Mountain. A few days later, in a secret room in Ice Lake, Elder Feng, who was getting older and older, sat on a soft mattress. Ji Ilan and Miao Lian were both there too. Mo Ying left. Elder Feng's tone was very calm. Ji Ilan stood up and said, Yes, Grandma, I persuaded him to go. He said that he knew he would be hindering Xiaoyun by staying, so he left. Why do I feel like you're hiding something? Are you hiding something from me? Grandma's tone was very calm, but there was a clear feeling of authority. Sorry, Grandma. That Mo Ying might be a herbal doctor. Ji Ilan was reminded that she couldn't hide anything from Grandma Feng. What? Elder Feng's eyes suddenly shot out rays, and she got up, but a moment later, she sat back down with her hands still shaking. After a long time she said, Why didn't you tell me? Were you scared that I would coerce him? Ji Ilan looked down. Grandma knew her well, but she also knew Grandma well. She was a very cutthroat person. If she knew that Mo Ying was a herbal doctor, Mo Ying would never be able to see the living daylight again. Not only would he have to spill all his techniques, he would be made to stay at Ice Lake to make pills and medicine for the rest of his life. Her grandma would rather imprison a herbal doctor or kill him than let him serve another sect. Elder Feng's face was green, and her eyes were dodgy. Ji Ilan suddenly knelt down. Grandma, please don't do anything to Xiaoyun, she didn't know this at all. She doesn't even know her husband. She only met her husband 2 months ago. You were scared that I would trouble that Mo Ying and end up making Mu Xiaoyun want to leave. That's why you hid it from me, right? Grandma had regained her composure. Yes, and I'm actually only guessing. That Mo Ying might not be a herbal doctor. I just heard Xiaoyun say that he likes to put herbs into food and that it had a lot of benefits when he does, Ji Ilan said carefully. Elder Feng sighed. Ilan, get up, you're too soft-hearted. I really don't know if it's the right decision to let you manage Ice Lake. Elder Feng paused for a moment and said, Do you know what a herbal doctor means for a sect? If that Mo Ying can mix herbs into food, he's a herbal doctor for sure, and a rather capable one at that. Yet you let him go. Elder, that Mo Ying is just an ordinary person. However, Elder Feng waved her hand. She said plainly, Ilan, do you think a herbal doctor would be a normal person? She then said, I just got news that 5 days ago, Someone killed Tai sect members in Wu Wen City, and he proclaimed that he was targeting the Tai sect. He killed them for a herb called the blood cherry, and that Mo Ying is a herbal doctor, so. Ji Yilan said in shock, Elder, how is that possible? Mo Ying left in the morning only 5 days ago. Even if he can fly, he can't have appeared in Wu Wen City 5 days ago and killed those people. Hearing this, Elder Feng frowned and murmured to herself, that is impossible indeed. Not to mention, he's at most in his 20s. No matter what, he can't have the strength to instantly kill an Earth-level tertiary stage cultivator. I was thinking too much. Then Elder Feng asked, how is Mu Xiaoyun's progress? Ji Yilan said happily, she's very talented, it's only been 5 days and she reached level 2 of the Star Rain cultivation method and has reached the yellow level middle stage. That fast, she's a level 1 talent indeed. Even Elder Feng was completely shocked. At this moment, someone said at the door, Grandma, sect leader Yilan, Magic Merchant Association's goddess Zihua is here. Elder Feng and Ji Yilan were both dazed. Why would the acting leader of such a big power come visit Ice Lake? Goddess Zihua, please come in, Elder Feng said. Zihua walked in with a smile. Ji Yilan quickly got up, it's an honor to see Goddess Zihua in Ice Lake, please have a seat. Thank you. Miao Lian quickly poured a cup of tea. Ji Yilan smiled, Sister Zihua is very busy with the Merchant Association. How did you find the time to come to Ice Lake? Zihua smiled, I've met Mu Xiaoyun and her husband in Hangshui before and I happened to be nearby, so I came to see them. Ji Yilan didn't believe that Zihua came to see Mo Ying, she probably came for Mu Xiaoyun. This immediately made Ji Yilan vigilant. Xiaoyun is working hard cultivating Ice Lake's cultivation method, and Mo Ying has left Ice Lake. What? Yunzi was so shook that she spilled her cup of tea. Was it really him? Chapter 733, Wu Wen Mountain. Chapter 733, Wu Wen Mountain. Although he had left Wu Wen City 5 days before already, Yimo hadn't gone into Wu Wen Mountain yet. He was searching the outskirts according to the map the woman gave him and also testing his anti-poison pills. After the testing, Yimo felt they weren't bad, but the corrosive power of the poison at the entrance to the mountain was too strong, and it would only get stronger when he properly went into the mountain. So to be safe, Yimo used some materials to make an armor that covered him from head to toe. This armor was just a low-grade magic artifact, yet it wasted half of Yimo's gang metal essence and some of his 5-element rock and other ores. On the morning of the next day, Yimo was standing at the entrance to Wu Wen Mountain. The mist with a putrid stench seeped out from it, and even though Yimo had taken an anti-poison pill, he still felt dizzy. Yimo slowly walked in nonetheless. Even if the poison was fatal, he would still give it a try. As soon as Yimo stepped in, the poison mist seemed to be alive as it rushed over and surrounded him. Crack crack, there was the sound of corrosion, and Yimo saw the clothes outside his armor soon dissipate into nothing. So powerful. Yimo was shook. Since the poison in here was so strong, how could there be herbs? Yimo sent his spirit sense out and saw there were trees resistant to the corrosion, but there were no spirit herbs. Yimo frowned. He got up on his flying sword and wanted to fly into the sky, but soon, he was disappointed. There were anti-air restrictions on the mountain. Even if he somehow managed to fly, it would have to be near the ground. This restriction signified the presence of cultivators. Yimo decided to just start running, but even then he still felt a strong opposition force. An hour later, Yimo ran out of the poison mist and finally understood why there were herbs there. This place was a haven of spirit Kai. It was boundless, and there was no poison mist past that point. As long as you got through the poison mist layer, you could harvest herbs as you pleased. Yimo noticed one more thing. The putrid kind of poison mist layer was only in the outer 10 kilometers. Between that and the spirit herbs was a layer of normal poison mist. There was already some vegetation in this layer and even some animals. But Yimo also saw that although there were spirit herbs there, they were very young. The old ones had all been picked already. There were also ferocious beasts everywhere. Perhaps due to the spirit Kai, they had gotten much stronger than the beasts outside. As for why there was no poison mist there, Yimo knew that there was a huge formation in this mountain range, but he couldn't really see it. Yimo knew that it would be impossible to break this formation with his current power, but he also knew that it must have been left there by someone a long time ago. He didn't need to break it. After a while, Yimo still found some old spirit herbs. After all, this place was too broad. Even with the great picking every 5 years, it was impossible to pick everything. Yimo didn't have a place to store these herbs, so he decided he would go back and start making pills as soon as he'd collected enough. Yimo sunk into the endless herbs and lost track of time. He didn't know how many herbs he had collected. This should be enough, I should get back quickly and make some pills. Yimo looked at the fully stacked herbs and said to himself. After this time, Yimo also knew that there was another layer of poison mist deeper into the mountain after all. After passing through that, he would probably reach the core part of Wu Wen Mountain. That was where Had Yunzi said the Jolan flower could exist. But after taking a look there, Yimo saw that this layer of poison mist was much stronger and would never weaken. No wonder no one could go in there. How could Yunzi even know that there might be a Jolan flower in there? Perhaps she had been lying. Yimo estimated that he had been there for 2 or 3 months already, so in order for Mu Xiaoyun not to worry, he decided to only go in quickly and immediately come out. Yimo dashed in as quickly as he could, but he felt a strong resistance again, this one much stronger than outside. Hence, Yimo was as slow as a snail. 1 hour later, Yimo was sweating. He had been walking for an hour, but all he saw ahead of him was still that endless poison mist. What worried him the most was that his armor started to corrode. Yimo had put a lot of good materials into his armor, yet the more he walked, the faster the armor was being corroded. Should he leave? Yimo thought about it but immediately rejected the idea. He didn't even know if he would be able to still leave that easily, but even if he would, when would he be able to get the Jolan flower if not now? If he left now, his effort to beat that last poison mist layer would have all been for nothing. An hour later, when Yimo felt that his armor was about to be completely dissolved, a large patch of green appeared before his eyes. Finally, Yimo breathed a sigh of relief, and his attention was immediately caught by what was in front of him. This was an ancient spirit herb garden. The herbs in there were all very old. Some had even died naturally. Perhaps the ones alive weren't even the originally planted ones. Yimo noticed the spirit herbs and was completely stunned. 9-leaf lotus, Juhorn flower, double-leaf luolan, purple black blue carrot. Yimo was absolutely breathless. What was this? Although he had never seen these in real life, he had seen them in books. Yimo never had thought he would be able to see the real deal one day. Yimo's hands were shaking. These were herbs used by high-level cultivators, by old monsters at the golden core and nascent soul stage. Yimo scanned the outside of the garden and finally saw some Jolan flowers too. They were very precious to him, but they were just a random unimportant grass on the outskirts here. It didn't even have the right to be in the actual herb garden. Yimo carefully approached the entrance of the garden and stood still for a long while. After making sure there was no problem, he bent down and picked up 3 Jolan flowers. But as soon as he did, he felt a certain strong pressure appear. Yimo wanted to retreat, but that strong suction force rendered him unable to move. A black mist then encroached him, and Yimo immediately disappeared from the spot. Chapter 734, Longing for Someone. Chapter 734, Longing for Someone. Ice Lake had fallen from the special grade sect status after the last sect tournament. They had internal conflicts, which rendered them a bordering 3rd grade sect. But recently, it had become famous again due to the recruitment of a genius disciple, Mu Xiaoyun. The most important reason for their fame was that the responsible person for the Magical Merchant Association, Yunzi, often went to Ice Lake. She had become a friend of Ji Ilan and Mu Xiaoyun. People were envious that Ice Lake and the Magical Merchant Association were on good terms. Many important resources couldn't be bought with money. Most people believed that the reason Yunzi was getting closer to Ice Lake was due to Mu Xiaoyun. Because of Mu Xiaoyun, Ice Lake was very lucky. Mu Xiaoyun was a level 1 talent and an extremely beautiful woman. As for Mo Ying, who had been with her at Hangshui, people had long forgotten about him. How could someone like him deserve a goddess-like genius? The ice lake was the symbol of the sect. At the highest rock next to it, a blue-dressed lady stood looking out into the distance. Husband had said he would come back and take her in at most half a year. However, he had been gone for 3 years already. Why was he not back yet? 3 years ago, she would go there to seek for her husband every day, but she never found him. If it hadn't been that he had told her to wait for him at Ice Lake and not to leave, she would have left Ice Lake to find him. Husband, I'm already at Kai Gathering Stage 3, why are you still not back? Mu Xiaoyun murmured. Martial sister Xiaoyun, let's go back. Zi Saita brought a few invitations for the Hidden Sect's martial arts tournament. Let's go together. Ji Ilan saw Mu Xiaoyun and sighed. She really couldn't do anything about this. She had tried persuading her many times, but she never listened to her. She would spend a large amount of time each day waiting for her husband there, regardless of the weather. There were even 2 footprints on the rock. If she had used all that time to cultivate instead, she would be at Earth level already. Even so, she was at Black level peak now. She had reached stage 6 in Star Rain cultivation method, and even she was only at stage 5. Mu Xiaoyun returned to her senses and looked blankly at Ji Ilan. She said slowly to Ji Ilan, Martial sister Ilan, I don't want to go to that tournament. You guys can go. Then, she turned back and headed to her place. Ever since 2 years ago, she had gone back to the place she had lived with Yi Mo. Although Ji Ilan and Grandma were helpless, Mu Xiaoyun's talent was absolutely perfect. She barely cultivated, yet she had reached Black Stage peak. Hence, they could only let her do as she wished. Hearing this, Ji Ilan said worriedly, Martial sister Xiaoyun, you must go. Do you know how hard it is to get an invitation? Our sect only has one, but Sister Z helped us get a few. Hearing this, Mu Xiaoyun looked back at Ji Ilan in confusion. Sister Ilan, husband just told me to wait for him at Ice Lake. What if he can't find me after I leave? And I don't like that sort of events, why would I have to go? Ji Ilan said, Martial sister Xiaoyun, there's 1 year left until the sect ascending tournament from grade 3 to grade 2. Those who participate must be under 30. You're our main power, you must go. Mu Xiaoyun nodded, I know, I will go to the tournament. However, I don't want to go to the Hidden Sect's martial arts tournament. I want to wait for my husband here. Ji Ilan could only say, the main purpose of the Hidden Sect's martial arts tournament is for the 3rd grade sects to rise to 2nd grade sect. It's for the contestants to understand each other and learn about your opponents. People also discuss their cultivation experiences there too. Sometimes, you can't just cultivate alone. Ji Ilan paused for a moment and then said, of course, the most important thing is that you have to go to Chan City to sign up for next year's tournament. Even if you don't go to this tournament, you have to go to sign up personally. Okay then. But my husband Mu Xiaoyun knew she couldn't reject it. Before she finished, Ji Ilan said, don't worry about your husband, I told Grandma that if your husband comes back while you're not at Ice Lake, she will immediately notify you through messenger hawks. You can come back to Ice Lake at any time. That's not necessary. You just have to tell me husband where I am. He will come to pick me up, Mu Xiaoyun quickly said. She was sure that her husband was caught up on something, he wouldn't forget about her. Chan City was the biggest city in the Hidden Sects. It was like the Hang Shui city of the outside. This city was in the center of the Hidden Sects. This martial arts tournament was for the younger generations, so the city had become very busy. Unlike other cities, Chan City had more than a few great heaven masters guarding it, so no one dared to cause trouble there. No matter who you are or where you came from, Chan City was not a place for you to mess around in. When Mu Xiaoyun and the rest arrived, it was already full. It was impossible to find a place to stay and the prices were rather high. However, Ice Lake disciples already had a place arranged for them. The headquarters of the Magical Merchant Association were in Chan City. After settling down, Ji Ilan went to Mu Xiaoyun's room. She saw that Mu Xiaoyun was just contemplating and sighed, Xiaoyun, let's go take a walk. It's better than staying at home all day. Hearing this, Mu Xiaoyun remembered when she had been to Hang Shui City. Her husband had taken her out to fly at night and bought stuff together. If only her husband was here, she could go out with him. However, Mu Xiaoyun had no interest in going out with martial sister Elan. Sorry, martial sister Elan, I don't want to go out. I'll stay here. Mu Xiaoyun shook her head. In the next few days, Mu Xiaoyun didn't leave her place other than when she went to sign up. On the third day, when the Hidden Sect's martial arts tournament was about to start, Yunzi suddenly ran to Mu Xiaoyun and said, "Martial sister Xiaoyun, I think I saw your husband." Chapter 735, It Isn't. Chapter 735, It Isn't her? Hearing this, Mu Xiaoyun stood up abruptly with her eyes wide open. Ji Elan could feel Mu Xiaoyun wobble and quickly supported her. "Don't worry, martial sister Xiaoyun, let sister Zi finish first." Yunzi was also excited. The reason why she had made friends with Mu Xiaoyun was to get to know more about Yi Mo. She might have had ulterior motives at the start, but later on she became real friends with her. Yunzi comforted, "Xiaoyun, stay calm. I'm not sure whether that person was your husband. I just heard someone call out to a martial brother Mo at the door and subconsciously looked back. Then, I saw someone that looked very similar to your husband. I didn't see clearly, but Mu Xiaoyun grabbed Yunzi's hand in excitement. "Sister Zi, but what?" Yunzi calmed down and said, "But his face didn't seem scarred, so I'm not sure that he was your husband." The reason why Yunzi had still mentioned it was because she was sure that Yi Mo had the capability to go to Wu Wen Mountain. So maybe he'd found the Jolan flower and recovered his face. The only thing she wasn't too sure about was that the day the Tai sect members were killed was only the day Yi Mo left Ice Lake. Even if Yi Mo could fly, there was no way he could get to Wu Wen Mountain that fast. But Yunzi had reached out to some eyewitnesses from Wu Wen City and had told them to describe the masked man, and their description reminded her a lot of Mo Ying. Mu Xiaoyun shook in excitement and said subconsciously, "My husband can recover his looks. I want to go see for myself." "What?" Yunzi and Ji Elan screamed at the same time. They couldn't believe it. Mu Xiaoyun knew she had spilled some words in her excitement, but she didn't mind much. As long as she could see her husband, everything else didn't matter. "Martial sister Xiaoyun, can brother Mo really recover his face?" Ji Elan was shaking and grabbed Mu Xiaoyun's hand. She didn't doubt Mu Xiaoyun's words. Yunzi also looked at Mu Xiaoyun in excitement, as she didn't doubt Mu Xiaoyun either. If Yi Mo was able to find the Jolan flower, he would really have such power. She had given Yi Mo a map of Wu Wen Mountain and found out that after the recent incident, almost 80% of the high-level herbs in the Wu Wen Mountains had been picked away. This quite possibly might have been done by Yi Mo. Yunzi had the feeling that Yi Mo had the capability to go in early. The more she thought about it, the more she felt like her guess was right. A pity that she had missed the chance to get close to Mo Ying on the boat. To her, it didn't matter what people Yi Mo had killed, she only cares about his abilities. Mu Xiaoyun was so excited that she immediately wanted to go to the Hidden Sects tournament and look for Yi Mo, but Ji Elan was holding her hand and asking her something, so she still had to reply. "Yes, martial sister Elan, my husband could do that." Mu Xiaoyun nodded. "Right, your husband is a high-level herbal doctor. I should have long since realized this." Ji Elan also said something she shouldn't in her excitement. "What? Martial sister Elan, Xiaoyun's husband is a high-level herbal doctor?" Yunzi was completely shocked. High-level herbal doctors were supremely important to the Hidden Sects. If her association could have a connection to a high-level herbal doctor, then Yunzi didn't even dare keep thinking about it. No wonder that Mo Ying liked herbs and gathering herbs, so that was it. As long as Mo Ying came back and just helped the association a little, then in that moment, all three were very excited and couldn't control themselves. "Xiaoyun, Elan, let's quickly go." Yunzi really wanted to see Yi Mo as soon as possible. "Goddess Zi, Goddess Yun." Countless people greeted them when they came to the Hidden Sects tournament. No one knew Mu Xiaoyun and Ji Elan, but Yunzi was famous. The martial arts tournament was a huge place with all sorts of facilities. Because it had just started, only a few people were practicing in the practice rings. Most people were sitting on the balconies having discussions. They all wanted to benefit from the experience of seniors. Every tournament, There would be some high-level masters coming to expound on the martial Tao. Yunzi caught most people's attention, and many people wanted to say hi to her to elevate their own status. However, Yunzi acted very strangely in front of these people. When the four came in together, Yunzi and her maid were at the very back. In the middle was a woman wearing a veil, and in the front most another goddess-like beauty. Soon, everyone's attention was caught by that otherworldly beauty. It was as though she was about to ascend to heaven. It could be said that this woman was even prettier than goddess Zihua. But that woman was desperately looking around. Mu Xiaoyun had started looking for Yi Mo as soon as she came in. Suddenly, Mu Xiaoyun's face froze. Her face changed and even went pale for a moment. But then she frowned and seemed to have remembered something as her face returned to normal. Xiaoyun, what are you doing here? A young man walked over in surprise. Mu Xiaoyun looked at this man and said plainly, "So it's you, Mo Yushan." Although they looked very similar, Mu Xiaoyun could tell straight away that this person wasn't her husband Yi Mo. The man seemed unable to believe that Mu Xiaoyun had dared call him by his name and frowned. "Xiaoyun, why are you not answering me about why you're here? And where is my mother?" Mu Xiaoyun's face sunk. When she saw Mo Yushan, there was this coldness that rose from the bottom of her heart, making her uneasy. When she was with Yi Mo, she didn't have that feeling. Suddenly, Mu Xiaoyun felt a hint of gratitude towards this Mo Yushan. If he hadn't left, how could she have met Yi Babe? At this moment, Yunzi walked over and whispered to Mu Xiaoyun, "He was the one I saw, but is he your husband? He looks similar yet doesn't at the same time." Mu Xiaoyun answered plainly, "He isn't, my husband isn't here today. Sister Z and Elan, I'm going." Chapter 736, You Don't Have the Right. Chapter 736, You Don't Have the Right. Hearing this, Mo Yushan seemed to have understood something. He screeched, "Mu Xiaoyun, what did you just say? You left your mother-in-law and ran away. Then, you cheat on me." Yunzi and Ji Elan looked at Mu Xiaoyun in shock after hearing this. Mo Yushan's words implied that Mu Xiaoyun was his wife. But she was no longer the Mu Xiaoyun she had been a few years ago. She now had a husband who deeply loved her. She looked coldly at Mo Yushan. "Your auntie saved me. I fed your mother for 3 years until she died. What did you do? Who do you think you are? My husband already told me. What do you have to do with me? What right do you have to say that to me?" Mo Yushan's face was green with anger. That timid cat from the past had suddenly turned into this, and it was unbearable for him. He couldn't keep calm anymore and lost his reason. He could curse and beat Mu Xiaoyun whenever he wanted. He could even tell her to die, and Mu Xiaoyun was not allowed to resist. This was absurd. She not only had resisted, but she dared say that he couldn't do anything about it. Seeing Mo Yushan shake of anger, Mu Xiaoyun said even more calmly, "I cheated on you. Who are you to me? What right do you have to say that? Only my husband can say it. You have no right." Mo Yushan suddenly started yelling, "Mu Xiaoyun, your father gave you to the Mo family. Are you regretting it now? Who saved you from that big disaster? Mu Xiaoyun, do you have any shame left? You left your mother-in-law and ran away by yourself. And now you say I'm not your husband. UUSL*T. For the first time in his life, Mo Yushan was truly bursting of anger. Mu Xiaoyun's expression turned cold. She said plainly, "Mo Yushan, was I actually given to the Mo family? Did your family ever give us a marriage gift? Did I ever plan to marry you, or did we have a wedding? Did I sleep with you? I don't think any of that happened. Who is shameless here? There's nothing between us. What right do you have to say that I'm yours? Yes, I am thankful to your auntie for saving me, but you didn't save me. Moreover, I struggled living in Huangping, yet I still fed your mother. Where were you? When I was abused and had nowhere to hide, where were you? There was no food in the house. I starved and had to borrow bowls of rice to feed your mother. When I was starving in the kitchen, where were you? You weren't even there. And even when you were, I was still the one providing for the family. Did you do anything for the family? I even had to take care of the haystack on the roof. Those few years, I didn't let your mother starve nor freeze, I let her curse and beat me until she passed away. When I had nowhere to go, I met my husband. Only then did I know what real happiness was. Only then did I know that a woman can also be protected. My husband told me I don't owe anything to your family anymore. There were tears in the corners of her eyes. She didn't care about her past traumas, but when she thought about her husband, she got emotional. She spoke her heart, as she didn't know how to curse people. What? My mother died. Mo Yushin was shook, as though he couldn't accept this fact. Mu Xiaoyun looked at him coldly and felt he was so fake. If he had really cared about his mother, why had he disappeared for so many years? Mo Yushin suddenly thought of something and pointed at Mu Xiaoyun hideously. Mu Xiaoyun, you dared to find another man. Mu Xiaoyun looked at him coldly. I have nothing to do with you. What does having a husband got to do with you? My husband explained to me that all you did was abandon your mother at home and stop caring about her. What is more, you left me, someone who is not related to your family, to take care of her. This is beyond shameless and immoral. How dare you have the guts to point fingers at me? Mo Yushin felt an irresistible anger rose from his heart. He was about to kill Mu Xiaoyun in a punch when someone behind him said, "That goddess-like beauty is Mu Xiaoyun? I heard she was the #1 genius who got recruited by Ice Lake. She's a goddess in the mortal realm indeed. PFFF, what do her looks got to do with her power? I heard that even some of the special grade sects wanted her." Hearing this, Mo Yushin suddenly calmed down. He had heard about that so-called Mu Xiaoyun, but he had never thought it would be her. When Mo Yushin calmed down and studied Mu Xiaoyun carefully, he found that she was extremely beautiful. Even Goddess Zihua's beauty was a little inferior. Mo Yushin's heart began to burn with excitement. Due to his condition, he had never thought of doing anything with Mu Xiaoyun. However, now he knew that if he reached great heaven, he could become a normal man. Mo Yushin was sure that Mu Xiaoyun didn't know he was impotent. If he could get married with Mu Xiaoyun, perhaps Tai sect would allow him to become a core disciple. To Mo Yushin, cultivation was everything. Nothing else mattered. Thinking about this, he took a step forward. But before he could speak, Yunzi stood in front of him. She looked plainly at him and said, "Mr. Mo, I heard the conversation you just had with her. In which case, she has nothing to do with you. She is married now and she has a very loving husband, so you have no right to disturb her." What Yunzi didn't expect was that Mo Yushin sighed and said, "Sorry, Xiaoyun, it was my bad before indeed. I wanted to explore the world and I neglected your feelings. I also didn't treat my mother right. I apologize to you now." Then, he bowed. Mu Xiaoyun frowned, she couldn't understand. The Mo Yushin she knew would have never done this. Seeing Mu Xiaoyun take a few steps back, Mo Yushin said solemnly, "Xiaoyun, you also know why our grandparents agreed to have us married. It's because of that fortune teller. If it hadn't been for that big disaster, perhaps we would have gotten engaged. Still, I don't think it's too late." Mu Xiaoyun's expression turned cold. "You're the genius disciple from Ice Lake and I'm one of Tai's inner sect members. We have a common goal now." However, Mu Xiaoyun's face changed drastically. Tai sect. Her husband had told her that it was his biggest enemy. His #1 priority there was to take revenge on Tai. "Xiaoyun, I'm willing to make up for everything I did before. Think about it. If one day, we both became Tai sect members. However, Ji Ilan was furious. She came up and sneered, "Mo Yushin, what do you mean? Xiaoyun is Ice Lake's disciple now. Watch your words." Chapter 737, Elder Jin's Schemes. Chapter 737, Elder Jin's Schemes. Mo Yushin had calmed down completely, and he didn't even seem unhappy about Ji Ilan's words. He simply said, "Martial sister, I never denied Xiaoyun being an Ice Lake disciple." He paused for a moment before continuing, "She's my fiancée, and due to my fault, she's angry at the moment. But I believe that if we can recover our relationship, Ice Lake could become a closely related sect to Tai." Mu Xiaoyun sneered, "Mo Yushin, I never had anything to do with you in the past, don't in the present and won't in the future. The only one I love is my husband. If you dare to say such words in front of me again, don't blame me for being merciless. Haha. So Prodigy Mo and the genius of Ice Lake has this type of connection, an old voice suddenly sounded. A fat old man appeared in front of them. He didn't have much hair except for on his two temples on both sides where it bursted out. Elder Jin. As Mo Yushan saw this old man, she bowed respectfully. The old man smiled and nodded. Great, you're great indeed. Then he looked at Mu Xiaoyun and nodded. How great, how truly great, you're indeed a 1 in 10,000 talent. Yunzi bowed. Yunzi greets Tai sect's Elder Jin. The fat man seemed to have just seen Yunzi and said with embarrassment, oh, if it isn't Goddess Zihua, hello, forgive my old eyes. Yunzi smiled plainly. She knew that this old guy had seen her as soon as he came and just wanted her to greet him first. Then, the old man turned to Mu Xiaoyun and said happily, so you're Mu Xiaoyun, the genius Ice Lake disciple? Mu Xiaoyun didn't answer anything knowing that the man was from Tai sect. Xiaoyun, this is our great heaven elder, you must not be disrespectful, Mo Yushan said. Mu Xiaoyun sneered, Mo Yushan, watch your words, you're you, I am me. There's nothing between us. I'm from Ice Lake, and you're not someone who can call me Xiaoyun, watch your words. Haha, this is fine, I like this kind of character. Prodigy Mo, I didn't think you had a connection with the genius of Ice Lake, how great. Then, he said to Ji Elan, you must be the future sect leader of Ice Lake, sect leader Ji. I didn't think Mu Xiaoyun was Tai's future daughter-in-law. Great, Prodigy Mo will soon become our core disciple. Our core disciple and Ice Lake's genius form a perfect match. When you go back, please tell Elder Feng that Tai will come to propose soon. Of course, there will be plenty of gifts. Ji Elan heard this, and her face changed drastically immediately. This fat man was too shameless. He was using the situation as an opportunity to take Mu Xiaoyun away and make sure Ice Lake stayed down forever. At this moment, Ji Elan regretted taking Mu Xiaoyun out. Mo Yushan, meanwhile, rejoiced. He didn't think his plan would work so soon. Mu Xiaoyun sneered. She didn't want to talk to her enemies and just said to Ji Elan, Martial sister Elan, let's leave. Then, she turned and left. Yi Mo felt his head buzzing with pain. What had happened? He got up in a hurry and as he looked at the 3 Jiolan flowers in his hand, he remembered what had happened. He had been sucked away by a strong force which might have been the power of space. Yi Mo didn't dare believe it. The power of space, if it really was the power of space, how could he still be fine? Under the pull of such power, even nascent soul stage cultivators wouldn't be able to survive. Thinking about this, Yi Mo's face turned very bad. He was sure that the poison mist was there to protect the garden. As for the suction force, that was a teleportation formation. It was a one-directional teleportation, which meant that the person who set it up was using it only to kill people. The person who set that up was just too bleak. Yi Mo wanted to curse. No wonder this man had died early, but even in his death, he wouldn't let others rest easy. Wait, Yi Mo thought, I should be dead. How am I still alive? Yi Mo got up and immediately looked around. He found he was in a dull, grey dimension. Where is this? Why does it seem familiar? Yi Mo frowned but then immediately remembered what this place was. His spirit sense had entered this place before. It was that golden dot in his dantian. This place was indeed a world. How did he get in there? Yi Mo calmed down and started pondering over the matter. The reason why he'd entered this world was because as the owner of the golden dot, when he was about to die, the dot have protected him and sent him in there. That's why he was saved. Yi Mo rejoiced that he had gotten the 3 golden papers or he wouldn't even know how he died. This world must be conscious in some sense. Although he never owned a pocket world, Yi Mo knew that as long as one was the master of a pocket world, one could go in and out at will. But Yi Mo couldn't. Even when he yelled out, exit, go out, he remained where he was. An hour later, after Yi Mo had tried all he could without being able to get out, cold sweat ran down his back as he panicked. This was *T. Although the world had saved him, he couldn't be locked up in there forever, could he? Perhaps the world had a spirit which had forgotten to bring him out. Yi Mo yelled, is there anyone there? Who got me in here? Get me out. But it was still nothing but silence which surrounded him. Emo calmed down. He knew that it was pointless to keep yelling. He stored the 3 flowers in his ring and then started searching for an exit from the dull, grey world. Emo went around and found that the world wasn't that big. It was at most a few hundred square meters. Other than the visible space area, everywhere else was grey, and he couldn't go there. In one corner, Emo saw a room and nothing else. Emo could only walk into this one room. It was very small, but it had some things inside. There was a stone tablet in the middle of the room with a jade slip. Emo scanned his spirit sense over it. It contained the primordial fortune chant cultivation method. Emo knew this cultivation method. He had gotten a small part of it when his spirit sense first reached the world, but now it seemed the entire thing was there. Emo didn't look at more of it, because there was too much information on it for him to handle. But the introduction still allowed Emo to understand some things. Chapter 738, 3 gives birth to all. Chapter 738, 3 gives birth to all. I'm Meng Zhon. I had the 3 golden pages of fortune. Yet even with my talent, I couldn't cultivate the innate cultivation method inside the pages, the 3 birth chant. This cultivation method requires a full spirit root to cultivate it. What kind of logic is this? A full spirit root cultivator is a useless cultivator. How can this natural cultivation method be meant for a useless spirit root cultivator? I forcefully tried cultivating the 3 birth chant and it destroyed my body. I won't give up. I will use the remaining power I have and write the primordial fortune chant on the golden page world. I believe my primordial fortune chant is the #1 cultivation method, so what if they say it's the 3 birth chant? Pity I can't cultivate it. These 3 pages were created by the earth. I died and these 3 pages will hide themselves in it. The fortunate one to get these 3 pages can cultivate my primordial fortune chant. If you do, you must not cultivate the 3 birth chant. Instead, you can give it to someone who has a full spirit root. When the right time comes, fight that person. Emo threw the jade slip away and said in contempt, "This old man is talking bullsh*t. I am a full spirit root. Will I go challenge Xiaoyun after I learn the 3 birth chant and let her beat me to prove that your cultivation method is stronger? Keep dreaming, old guy. Even if Xiaoyun wasn't my wife, I don't think your cultivation method can be more powerful than a cultivation method born from the earth." But his undying will was deserving of respect. Were there actual naturally created cultivation methods? How powerful would such cultivation method be? But where was it? How come he didn't see it? If it was as the old guy had said, that the 3 birth chant was best for full spirit root cultivators, then wouldn't he fit the criteria perfectly? Emo looked around and saw nothing but the stone tablet. Emo thought and placed his hand on it. Buzz information immediately got into Emo's head. From chaos, 1 was born. 1 gave birth to 2, 2 gave birth to 3, 3 gave birth to all. No wonder the 3 golden pages were hidden in the Tao Te Sutra. The Tao Te Sutra talked about this. After some time, Emo woke up. So that was it. The 3 birth chant meant that 3 had given birth to all. From the information he had received, Emo knew that he could only leave that world after reaching Kai gathering tertiary stage. But it would be hard to come back in again, and it would have to be after foundation establishment. That meant he could only come in and out as he pleased once he reached foundation establishment state. The thing Emo wasn't happy about was that he only had the 4 part of the 3 birth chant, not the latter part. No matter what, with a way to get out, Emo started cultivating. Emo hadn't wanted to change his cultivation method before, but now he had to. He started cultivating the 3 birth chant. When he first started, he found out that he could indeed cultivate it without any kind of obstruction. As the 3 birth chant said, all things can be created or absorbed. Emo was already stage 6 when he started cultivating, so he realized that he could convert his stage 6 power to cultivation resource and cultivate to stage 4 Kai gathering using the 3 birth chant. Emo rejoiced. He hadn't cultivated much, yet he was already at Kai gathering middle stage. Emo had realized that the spirit Kai in there seemed to be the same as outside, so he had to use pills to ascend faster. Luckily, he had countless herbs at that moment. Yimo took them all out and started making pills. As the herbs decreased, his pills increased. When he finished making a full set of Huang Ming pill, Yimo suddenly woke up. Since when could he make full sets of pills? Moreover, the pill's quality was top grade. Yimo then realized that the pill concocting method he was using was completely different to what he had learned. He had just so happened to use a different method. Yimo stopped in shock. He knew how hard it was to make pills. He had studied in Luoyu for years, yet he had just been a normal apprentice. However, the means he was using weren't of an apprentice, they were at a master level. What was going on? When Yimo made another cauldron of Kai increasing pill, he finally understood. He did have a new system of concocting pills. When he picked up a herb, the attributes of the herb appeared in his mind. Moreover, he could tell when to put them in and all of their innate abilities. The three-birth chant, Yimo murmured. He at last had comprehended what the three-birth chant was. 3 gives birth to all did not only mean that his cultivation method would develop its special techniques, but that it would also apply to other things. He could develop his own unique concocting method. Based on this, it could be foreseen that it would happen to formation. Ha ha ha. Yimo laughed. Meng Qian truly wasn't humble at all. If he had known that the three-birth chant was this powerful, he would have never said that the primordial fortune chant was the #1 cultivation method. That insolent old hag was fearless. Yimo sighed. He was sure that Meng Zhon was a very powerful person, yet very ignorant. Only those who cultivated the three-birth chant could know that if 100 people cultivated it, 100 different cultivation methods would come from it. The three-birth chant wasn't something static, it developed based on the individual's characteristics and talent. Knowing this, Yimo got excited. Although it required more resources to cultivate than the primordial chaos chant, Yimo was sure that he could reach a much higher state with it, even ascension into the immortal realm. Also, Wu Wen Mountain had a spirit herb garden. Although he hadn't gotten to it, he would return for sure. When he reached foundation establishment state, he would go there. By then, he should be able to go in and out of his golden page world as he pleased. With this mindset, Yimo kept cultivating and making pills every day. He didn't know how long it had been. He had eaten all the food in his ring, so he could only eat food pills to fill his stomach and cultivate. Although Yimo had gathered a lot of herbs, having developed a new concocting method meant that he made them all into pills, even the 10 cauldrons of big essence-increasing pills. The normal essence-increasing pills became completely useless when Yimo reached stage 6 again. Yimo couldn't help to sigh. The three-birth chant was really a resource-consuming cultivation method. But luckily, after wasting 80% of his pills, he finally reached stage 6 again. However, Yimo got very worried then. He didn't know how long he had been in the world. Moreover, he was worried that Mu Xiaoyun would go out to find him. He was also concerned that Luo Ying and Ning Qingxue would worry about him. He hadn't expected to spend so much time in there. There were 2 essence-increasing pills made with earth spirit fruit and 5 great essence-increasing pills in front of him. He had to reach Kai Gathering Tertiary as fast as he could and leave that world. He had to get back to Ice Lake. Chapter 739, Passed Away. Chapter 739, Passed Away. Casting his random thoughts aside, Yimo took 2 essence-increasing pills in one go. Strong spiritual power started rampaging in his meridians, and as Yimo digested the power, it kept charging at the barrier that stopped him from reaching stage 7. With the strong digestive power of the three-birth chant, Yimo felt that the spirit power was soon gone, and yet he was still far from breaking through to stage 7. Yimo clenched his teeth and ate 5 great essence-increasing pills all in one go. Spirit Kai immediately started burning in his meridian and dantian. The explosive power of eating those pills together was rather horrifying for a Kai-gathering cultivator. Yimo was probably the first stage 6 cultivator in history to dare do that at stage 6. But with the absurd power of the three-birth chant, no matter how many spirit Kai there was, as long as it didn't burst open his dantian and meridians immediately, it would be digested. Yimo knew he shouldn't be doing something like that as a cultivator, but he didn't regret it. He was more worried than anyone else staying in there any longer. Luckily, the three-birth chant didn't disappoint him. Crack Yi Mo could hear the sound of a barrier cracking. The Kai that was stuck inside his body found the crack in the barrier and rampaged through it. Yi Mo felt the Kai in his body get stronger and stronger. Yi Mo rejoiced. Although it had been a desperate move, he finally reached stage 7. Yi Mo stabilized his power and got up. He stretched his hand and an extremely bright fireball appeared in it. It was more than a few times stronger than before. Yi Mo breathed a sigh of content at his power being so much stronger than before. He might be only at stage 7, but Yi Mo felt that he wouldn't have to fear even a peak stage Kai gathering cultivator. He thought about those 3 people whose power he couldn't see through in Hang Shui City. Yi Mo should be fine fighting the 3 now. He had to consider things like this, because he wanted to get revenge on the Tai sect. Exit. Yi Mo howled as he didn't want to stay there for a second longer. As soon as the thought flashed through his mind, he left that dull grey world. Finally, he was out. Yi Mo felt like crying. How long had he been locked up for? Not good. Yi Mo suddenly remembered the Jiolan flower. It hadn't lost its potency in the Golden Page world, but that didn't mean that it would be the same in the outside world. Yi Mo quickly took it out and put it in a jade box to preserve it. However, he knew that half a month later, it would still lose some of its potency nonetheless. It would be a waste to make a foundation establishment pill out of it now. Yi Mo thought regretfully, if only I'd left it in the Golden Page world. Thinking about this, Yi Mo tried to go in the world again, but indeed he couldn't anymore. But when he suddenly tried moving the flower with his spirit sense, he surprisingly found that the flower was sent into the Golden Page world. Although he couldn't go in, herbs could. Yi Mo rejoiced. After putting the remaining herbs in, Yi Mo started to look at his surroundings. He found that he was at the foot of a mountain, and there was a small road-like passage. Yi Mo sent his spirit sense around and found that it had increased greatly. He remembered that at stage 6, his spirit sense could reach around 2 kilometers, while now it was 7 kilometers. Normally, 3 kilometers would be the limit for stage 7 cultivators, yet now his spirit sense was stronger than even a peak stage Kai gathering cultivator. The 3-birth chant was strong indeed. Yi Mo sighed and decided to find a way out of where he was. But then suddenly, he stood dazed. He found that 3 kilometers away, a young nun was laying on the ground in the forest. He knew this nun, it was that big martial sister Luo Yin. Why was she here so heavily wounded? Yi Mo came up to Luo Yin and put a lotus life pill in her mouth. But soon, Yi Mo's heart sunk. Luo Yin's wounds were too heavy, and her life force was at its end. Even the lotus life pill could only keep her alive for just a bit more. Who are you? Your eyes are familiar. Luo Yin opened her eyes and saw Yi Mo, but she closed her eyes again right after. Her face became ruddy, and Yi Mo knew that she was gathering her last ounce of strength. Even if Yi Mo were at the nascent soul stage now, he wouldn't be able to save her without some potent herbs. Yi Mo remembered how he looked and immediately took a face-preserving pill. Now that he was stage 7, there was no need for him to hide his face anymore. In a short while, all the scars disappeared from his face as Yi Mo used a cleaning spell and showed his original face. This time, Luo Yin opened her eyes and recognized the person in front of her. She immediately rejoiced. It's you, Yi Mo. Am I dreaming? No, martial sister Luo Yin, I came to the small world. Tell me what happened. I will get revenge for you. Yi Mo felt sad. Although he wasn't close to Luo Yin, she was Luo Xian's martial sister and had taken care of both of them. Yi Mo put another lotus life pill in her mouth. Luo Yin signaled for him not to waste his pills. After a long while, she gathered some strength and said, I know you came in. It was martial Aunt Jiezun. She hunted me and martial sister Luo Xian. Wanted to find you. Martial sister didn't want to talk about you. She was forced to jump off a cliff. I ran away injured but was stopped and beaten again. I ran here. Hatred showed in Yi Mo's eyes. It was that old hag again. She was too wretched. He let her go last time because he wasn't strong enough to catch her, and now she'd harmed Luo Yin and Luo Xian. Yi Mo felt regret. He should have found her and killed her first before going into Wu Wen Mountain. Yi Mo, little Marshall's sister really likes you. She jumped off Shuangsha Cliff. If possible, go find her and bring her back. She said you had helped her realize her dream, and that she had no regrets. As Yi Mo heard this, he remembered the time when he flew with Luo Xian. That little girl who jumped off that building for him. Yet such a cute and beautiful girl was forced to jump off a cliff by that Jie Zun. Yi Mo's heart was burning with rage. He wanted to go up to Jie Zun and tear her to pieces right then, but he knew Luo Yin wasn't going to hold on much longer. Luo Yin's voice got quieter and quieter. I regret not listening to Marshall's sister Luo Fei and not staying at Luo Yu City. I regret I'm still. Yi Mo, my family is outside Gan Tong City. Shifeng Village. My name is Shi Jingqing. If possible, take me back home and check up on them. Then give me to Marshall's sister Luo Fei. As Yi Mo picked Luo Yin up, the joy of reaching stage 7 was gone already. Luo Yin finally became completely quiet. Yi Mo sent her into the golden page world and howled. He immediately shot into the sky with his flying sword. First, he would check on Xiaoyun. If something happened to her, even if he slaughtered all the hidden sects, what was lost wouldn't come back. Chapter 740, Outside Chan City. Chapter 740, Outside Chan City. Although Yi Mo desperately wanted to go back to Ice Lake, when he got in the air, he didn't know which direction Ice Lake was. Just when he was about to ask someone, his spirit sense scanned a peak. There were 2 large boulders soaring high up. Was it the Shuangsha Cliff? TL note, Shuangsha means 2 rocks. Yi Mo immediately landed there. He found the name Shuangsha Cliff written on one of the big rocks. The other rock had Qing Shui sect written on it. However, there was no sect around. When he thought of Luo Xian jumping off here, Yi Mo felt bad. Brother Yi, thank you for fulfilling my dream. Although it was just one night, I'm very satisfied. It's fine, it was just because I happened to be able to do it and you happened to trust me. I just didn't want Brother Yi to be disappointed again. I was thoughtless at the time. He felt like he could still hear Luo Xian's words, but she was gone. Yi Mo was in pain. He didn't want to think about it anymore, so he jumped down the cliff. Yi Mo didn't know if he could still find Luo Xian. There was just grass and leaves at the bottom. Snakes too. Yi Mo's heart sunk. If Luo Xian had fallen there might not even be a body to mourn, much less finding her alive. He expanded his spirit sense and searched for nearly 2 hours, but he found nothing. Yi Mo knew he couldn't keep wasting time there. There was nothing. The only possibilities were that either her body was gone, or that she had escaped. But with Jie Zun chasing after her, Yi Mo didn't think she could have escaped. Yi Mo went back to the top and wrote on the big rock with his sword, Yi Mo came here to find Luo Xian. He left after failing with concern. Not long after, Yi Mo decided to go to a city. He realized that this was the biggest city he had seen in the small world. Neither Hangshui nor Wu Wen were as big as this. Still, Yi Mo had to find where Ice Lake was. Yi Mo got off the flying sword. He was going to go inside when he saw in big letters Chan City. That woman was really pretty. What a pity she ran away. She was such a beautiful nun. I saw a prettier woman than her a few years ago at Huangshui City. I planned on looking for her, but she ran away. That nun was already injured. Otherwise, we would have been no match for her. Yi Mo turned around immediately. He knew these people were talking about Luo Yin. Ah, it's Marshall Brother Mo from Tai sect. Hello, Marshall Brother Mo. These people saw Yi Mo and came up to him. Marshall Brother Mo? Yi Mo frowned, but he immediately remembered that guy called Mo Yushan. Those men might have mistaken him for Mo Yushan. You're horse shit. Yi Mo found out that he actually knew one of them, Ma Shalong. Ma Shalong was dazed. He looked at Yi Mo carefully and then pointed at him. You're not Marshall Brother Mo. You're your dash. Yi Mo sneered. He could tell that Ma Shalong had recognized him. He actually isn't Marshall Brother Mo. His clothes are strange too. Something's not right. The few other people had also realized. Ma Shalong was dazed for a moment, but then rejoiced. Not bad, Kid. I didn't think you could recover your face. Where's that girl who used to follow you around? If you're willing to give her to me, I might let you live. Yimo couldn't even bother talking. He raised his hand and 4 wind blades were shot. Ma Shalong's legs and arms were immediately sliced off. He struggled in terror on the ground, like a ball. He was screaming, yet he couldn't die immediately. The 3 people next to him were dazed. How had he done that? With merely the wave of hand, Ma Shalong had lost his limbs. You dared to kill at Chan City. You're asking to die, one of Ma Shalong's friends reacted and roared at Yimo. Yimo sneered and threw at him another wind blade. A bloodline appeared on his neck, then blood burst out and his head exploded into the sky. Yet, his hands were still pointing at Yimo. The remaining 2 men were clearly stronger than the previous ones, but they started shaking after they saw the means Yimo had to kill. This guy had not only killed in Chan City, but also without any restraints. Yimo looked at the 2 shaking men and asked coldly, "Did you beat that nun?" "When?" Yes, 2 days ago. We saw her on our way back from herb collecting. I'm a disciple from Shongqing Mountain. You can't dash, the man said shakily. Yimo was bursting with anger. Now that he had met the people who had caused Luo Yin's death, he didn't want to ask anymore. He threw out countless wind blades and the 2 shaking men were sliced like smashed tomatoes. Only Ma Shalong was still convulsing on the ground, but it was clear he wouldn't last long. The stench of blood spread and people moved aside. A slaughter god had killed in Chan City. No one dared to be associated with him. Who would dare to kill in Chan City? 2 Earth-level tertiary stage martial artists rushed there. Even they felt a little disgusted at the scene. When they saw that the people killed were all from Shongqing Mountain, their face changed. Shongqing Mountain was just a 2nd grade sect, but they were backed up by Chen Kuan sect. It's you, Mr. Mo from Taiyi, one of them said. Yimo thought about the situation. In the end, that Mo Yushan hadn't died, he had just joined Taiyi sect. At this moment, a chariot was coming out of Chan City. When he saw it, Yimo remembered that it was Goddess Zihua's cart. He hadn't expected to see it again today. Yimo scanned his spirit sense inside. It was Yunzi indeed, but she seemed injured. The cart didn't intend to stop at all when passing by Yimo. Yimo suddenly called out, "Goddess Zihua, please wait a moment. I have something to ask you." A cold voice sounded from the chariot, "Mr. Mo, I'm busy. If there's nothing special, I'm leaving." If it had been a few years ago, she wouldn't have even cared about a Taiyi core disciple. However now, the Magical Merchant Association was far weaker than Taiyi. She didn't want Mo Yushan to find an excuse to use it against them. Mr. Mo, the 2 Earth-level martial artists weren't happy that Yimo had ignored them, but they didn't dare to get angry. Mo Yushan was a core disciple of Taiyi. His status was the same as an elder's. Yimo sneered, "Don't take me for Mo Yushan, I'm not him." "Is Mo Yushan a Taiyi sect member?" "Great. I am going to kill Taiyi sect people anyway, he better not cross my wake." "What? And you dare pretend you're a Taiyi sect core disciple? Who are you? You're asking to die." No wonder he seemed strange. It was said that Mo Yushan was a gentleman, he would never be as rude as this person. Without thinking, they pulled out their swords and charged at Yimo. Yimo lifted his hand and the flying sword landed on his hand. At the same time, a sword ray flashed and 2 heads flew into the sky, spilling blood. "My name is Yimo." Chapter 741, Doing Something for Husband. Chapter 741, Doing Something for Husband. Her? Yunzi's hand shook. "Miss, is he really not Mo Yushan? Is he Xiaoyun's husband then?" He says his Yimo. Xiao Ling looked in shock at the bloody scene and the man who had a sword on his back. "Which arrogant fool dares kill at Chan City's gates?" A furious voice sounded, and an old man appeared at the gates. "You're from the Taiyi sect." Yimo saw the old man's clothes and knew that he was from the Taiyi sect. He was a great heaven master and seemed a bit stronger than that elder minute, but he was still only at the great heaven primary stage. To him, that little strength was worthless. The old man sneered, "You look a little like Marshal Nephew Yushan, but no matter what, you must die." As soon as the man finished speaking, he saw Yi Mo's sword fly up into the sky on its own, accompanied by a sword ray. Sword manipulation, the old man exclaimed in shock. Even Great Heaven Peak Masters couldn't do that. Only the legendary state above Great Heaven could allow you to achieve that. You're above Great Heaven. The old man could only say this before he quickly tried to hide, but no matter how fast he was, his arm was still sliced off like tofu. Yi Mo had to congratulate the old man for his agility. Let me see how long you can hide. Yi Mo controlled his flying sword again, and it was much faster this time. The Great Heaven Master's soul was shattered while he was still screaming, "Don't attack, we can talk it." However, he could never utter that last word. 3 sword rays had cut him into 4 slices already. Yunzi looked at Yi Mo with a pale face, while her heart was in a tsunami of shock. It was him indeed. He was the one who killed Elder Ming in Hangshui City. He had bought the Earth Spirit Fruit, he had taken out that 500 kilograms of gold, he was that big beard. He had probably gotten the Jiolan flower too. So he was this strong. Great Heaven Masters couldn't even stand one blow of his. He could even manipulate his sword. What level of power had he achieved? She had guessed right indeed, yet she missed the opportunity to connect to him. Yunzi's mind went black. A tornado of a man like him. Who was this powerful? How could he supposedly have no talent? Yi Mo then turned to Zi and said plainly, "Goddess Zihua, I believe you know in which direction Ice Lake is. Please tell me. Here is a pill for your internal injuries, which are quite heavy. It's yours. I said I owed you before, so now I've paid you back." Yi Mo looked at the man on the horse. The man was a half-step Great Heaven cultivator, yet even with him Yunzi was still heavily injured. Yunzi took the bottle shakily and even forgot to reply. Seeing Yi Mo starting to frown, Xiao Ling quickly pulled Yunzi. Yunzi finally calmed down a little and shakily replied, "Mr. Yi, are you looking for Sister Xiaoyun? She's not in Ice Lake, she's at Magical Continent Mountain now, 50 kilometers from here, in the Hidden Sects grading tournament. She's representing Ice Lake there." Hearing that Mu Xiaoyun was fine, Yi Mo heaved a sigh of relief. "Where is it exactly? I'll be going there now." Yi Mo couldn't wait any longer. Yunzi quickly said, "I was planning on going there now too, so you can come with me. There is one thing, however, after this tournament, Xiaoyun will be joining the Taisa what?" Yi Mo immediately interrupted. Yunzi quickly explained, "Because there's someone called Mo Yushan in the Tai sect who kept harassing Xiaoyun. She went back to Ice Lake to hide, but Tai was too domineering and chased all the way to Ice Lake. They said that Mu Xiaoyun belongs to Tai, and since Ice Lake is weak, after some negotiations, they allowed Xiaoyun to join Tai after the tournament." Yi Mo's face grew colder and colder. Xiaoyun knew he had enmity with Tai. She would never join it voluntarily, so she must have been forced. Yunzi saw Yi Mo's cold face, and his intense killing intent made her shiver. She immediately said, "You left for 4 years. 1 year ago, Sister Xiaoyun said that she would rather die than join Tai, but where is Magical Continent Mountain?" Yi Mo asked again. Yunzi shivered and pointed west subconsciously. "It's 50 kilometers to the west from here. By chariot it takes." Yunzi was then suddenly made speechless as she saw in a daze how Yi Mo stepped onto the flying sword and disappeared into the horizon. Not only Yunzi, but also Xiao Ling and the horse rider were dazed. Yi Mo could fly on a sword. Who was he? Was he an immortal or something? Yunzi's body was shaking with excitement. After a long while, she came back to her senses and quickly said to the man beside her, "Uncle Tong, quick, we need to go to Magical Continent Mountain as fast as possible." The biggest mountain in the Hidden Sects was undoubtedly the Magical Continent Mountain. It wasn't tall, but it had 9 peaks surrounding the mountain. The mountain top was very flat and had an area of tens of millions of square meters. For countless years, the tournament to decide the Hidden Sects grades had been held there. The Hidden Sects resources were limited, and so a lower grade meant less resources, so it meant a lot. Every 20 years, the second grade and below sects would have their tournament there. Every 100 years, the special grade and first grade sects would hold their tournament there too. Now was the most busy time of that place as the 20-year and the 100-year tournament were being held there at the same time. This overlap meant something special. This time, the gradeless sects could challenge the special grade sects, and as long as they won, they would take their place as a special grade hidden sect. Moreover, there was no age restriction on the challengers. They just had to not be an elder. Usually, people wouldn't challenge you, though, because if, for example, you were a second grade sect, and you lost too many times, you risked being demoted to a third grade sect. Ice Lake was actually on the verge of losing their third grade title. Although there were many sects present, there weren't that many people participating. Third grade sects usually just had 2 members participate at most. Special grade sects could send out as many as 5 members. The higher the grade, the more stable the status. Even if one member lost, there would still be others. But this wasn't the case for the low-grade hidden sects. This time, Ji Ilan and Mu Xiaoyun were representing Ice Lake. Elder Feng and 2 Earth-level elders had come too, because they would matter if Ice Lake could reach the second grade. Xiaoyun. Ji Ilan looked worriedly at Mu Xiaoyun. Her face had been very cold ever since coming to Magical Continent Mountain. Mu Xiaoyun suddenly got up and walked up to the stage, but Ji Ilan quickly stopped her. Xiaoyun, our round hasn't started yet. Now is the challenging time. Martial sister Ilan, I know. I've already helped Ice Lake win 2 rounds. I want to do something for my husband now. Mu Xiaoyun from 3rd grade Ice Lake challenges the Tai sect. Mu Xiaoyun stood on the stage with a blue dress. A light breeze blew on her dress, making her look like a goddess who was about to fly away. Chapter 742, Forgetting to block the strike. Chapter 742, Forgetting to block the strike. Such a pretty woman. Yes, but why is a 3rd grade sect challenging Tai sect? That's like asking to die. PFFF, she's not asking to die. They say that she has been chosen by Tai sect. After representing Ice Lake, she will get married into Tai sect. Do you think Tai sect would kill her? Yes, I saw her match yesterday. She's black level peak and she's not even 30 years old. I think she's called Mu Xiaoyun. No wonder she's challenging Tai sect. She probably wants to leave them a good impression. When Mu Xiaoyun claimed her intentions, no one thought she was really trying to challenge Tai sect. After all, these special grade sect's genius disciples were unbeatable. Moreover, against a special grade sect, it was usually Earth-level masters and even half-step Great Heaven masters who challenged. It was a special case that Tai Yi and Kuan Qian had succeeded 100 years ago. Ji Ilan was worried sick. She knew it was pointless to find Grandma for help, but she still did so. A skinny old man was unhappy. He scanned the rest of the elders and looked at the bald fat man. After a long while, he said, "Elder Jin, is this the girl that you spoke about?" "Yes, Vice Sect Leader Qi." He acted cocky in front of others, but he would never dare to do so in front of the Vice Sect Leader. Vice Sect Leader Qi's tone was cold. The first requirement for joining the sect is loyalty. This girl clearly hates our sect and yet, you let someone like her join us? Elder Jin was at a loss for words. He quickly said, "She's my disciple's fiancée." He wasn't planning on marrying her, but when he realized she is a level 1 talent and saw her beauty, he changed his mind. So Elder Jin continued, seeing that Vice Sect Leader Qi didn't speak. If Vice Sect Leader Qi doesn't think she's suitable to be our disciple, then she can just serve my disciple. We can't let her gain strength in Ice Lake either. Vice Sect Leader Qi nodded. Even if they couldn't take her as a disciple, they couldn't allow her to get stronger in Ice Lake and empower them. "Master, I want this Mu Xiaoyun. I want to see her on the stage. She reminds me of that girl I saw outside," a 30-year-old man suddenly got up and said at that moment. Hearing this, Vice Sect Leader Qi frowned. "Yuan Zhong, you're too superficial. After all these years, you've only gone from the peak of the black level to the earth level primary stage because you spent too much time thinking about women." This man heard this and promised immediately, "Master, I'm for real this time. If I can have this woman, I promise I won't go out with other women anymore. The reason I haven't been progressing much is because of the death of that girl." Vice Sect Leader Qi sighed. Don't mention that thing again. I feel uneasy about it. Master, you worry too much. Our Tai is one of the big three. Who would dare do anything to us? Also, it's been many years and nothing has happened. I promise, if I get that woman this time, I will give my best to cultivate. Yuan Zhong promised. Vice sect leader Qi clearly spoiled Yuan Zhong, but he just sighed, it's better to be careful. Still, this woman-elder Jin saw vice sect leader Qi look over and immediately knew what was going on. This made it hard for him, but before he said anything, the young man behind him moved forward. He saluted vice sect leader Qi and said, Vice sect leader Qi, Mu Xiaoyun was given to me by my master. If martial brother Yuan likes her, she's truly lucky. I'm willing to give this woman to martial brother Yuan. Very well, what is your name? Yuan Zhong immediately smiled and patted his shoulder. The young man said respectfully, Mo Yushan greets martial brother Yuan, I just became a core disciple of Tai. Oh, so you're Mo Yushan. Not bad, Yuan Zhong applauded Mo Yushan. Mo Yushan's attitude made Elder Jin breathe at ease, and even vice sect leader Qi nodded. This man knew what was his and what couldn't be his. Vice sect leader Qi said to Yuan Zhong, go, but after this, you must focus. Yes, master, Yuan Zhong rejoiced and immediately jumped onto the stage. His gliding landing immediately rallied a round of applause and cheers. See, that is Tai's vice sect leader Qi's disciple, martial brother Yuan. He's only 30 and he's already at the earth level. He's a true genius. No wonder his kung fu movements are this good. Yuan Zhong heard the cheers and of course saluted back to everyone joyfully. Then, he studied Mu Xiaoyun. He loved her the more he looked at her. Martial sister Xiaoyun, I'm Yuan Zhong, a core disciple of Tai. My master is Qi Zhen, Tai sect's vice sect leader Qi. My master engaged you to me. Don't worry about Mo Yushan, he agreed to it. I fell in love with you at first sight. Don't worry, I will treat you well. Mu Xiaoyun didn't seem to hear this. She picked up her sword and attacked. With Yimo's speed, he arrived at the mountain quickly. However, he felt an anti-air restriction again, just like at Wu Wen Mountain. He couldn't fly. Yimo sighed. He was still too weak. If he was strong, he could just ignore it. Yet now, he had to get down and walk. Yimo was also sure that a long time ago, that place must have indeed been a cultivation ground. But as time went by, the spirit Kai had dissipated and made cultivation regress into ancient martial arts. The dependence on spirit Kai for ancient martial arts was far lesser than for Dao cultivation. Perhaps there had been here a large sect a long time ago. Yimo was very fast even without flying. Unlike in Wu Wen Mountain, there were no ground restrictions here. Yimo did 15 kilometers and got there in no time. When he was at the bottom of the mountain, his spirit sense scanned Mu Xiaoyun attacking a man with her sword. She was just at stage 3, while that man was at the earth-level primary stage. Even for Yimo, that wouldn't have been easy when he was at stage 3-3. Mu Xiaoyun had zero fighting experience, how could she be a match for her opponent? Thinking about this, Yimo sped up and darted like a whirlwind. He stepped on countless shoulders to reach the stage. Clank Yuan Zhong blocked the sword. However, the fire sparks made Yuan Zhong understand that Mu Xiaoyun was trying to kill him. Such a beautiful woman, but she attacked so ferociously. This made Yuan Zhong want to conquer her even more. Watch my sword. Yuan Zhong knew that Mu Xiaoyun could block it for sure, so he only used 80% of his Kai, but when the sword struck down, he and everyone else were dazed. Mu Xiaoyun seemed to be asking to die. She had forgotten to block the sword. Instead, she was looking away with joy and happiness. Chapter 743, Nail Kill. Chapter 743, Nail Kill. Mu Xiaoyun wasn't blocking, but Yuan Zhong's sword was still hacking down. Everyone watching the match knew that Mu Xiaoyun's fate was sealed. Such a beautiful lady was about to be killed. Some of the spectators didn't even want to watch anymore and closed their eyes. Yuan Zhong was shook as well. He didn't want to kill Mu Xiaoyun at all. He could only blame his poor luck. He finally met a girl he really felt something for, yet she was about to be killed by him. But before he could properly regret, he heard a clink sound, while he felt like his hand was a little lighter. He looked at the sword in his hand subconsciously and found that he was only holding a hilt. "Ye dear husband, is that you?" Mu Xiaoyun's eyes became misty. Ever since she starts cultivating the primordial fortune chant, her spirit sense had gotten amazing. Although she was only stage 3, her spirit sense nearly reached 1 kilometer. She hadn't even intentionally been scanning with her spirit sense but had just felt Yimo's Kai, the husband she had been longing for day and night, had finally come. She forgot that she was still on the fighting stage, as all her attention was on the person who had just appeared. As soon as her voice sounded, the figure of her dreams held her in his arms, embracing her with one of his powerful arms. Mu Xiaoyun was shaking while tightly hugging Yi babe. "Am I dreaming?" Mu Xiaoyun's voice was shaky. She didn't care about all the people watching her. She was just afraid that the moment she loosened her hand, Yi Mo would disappear. Yi Mo caressed Mu Xiaoyun's hair and said, "Xiaoyun, you're not dreaming. I'm sorry, I'm late." "Yi babe, is this really not a dream?" Mu Xiaoyun looked up, verifying reality once more, and she saw Yi Mo's recovered face. In truth, she didn't even need to look, she only needed to feel the Kai in Yi Mo's arms and see Yi Mo's eyes to know that the person in front of her was her husband. "My face has recovered," Yi Mo uttered. "En." Mu Xiaoyun didn't want to move anymore. Yi Mo patted her arm and said, "Xiaoyun, get up for now. I need to take care of this guy, how dare he try to kill you." Mu Xiaoyun listened and got up but still stood behind Yi Mo. Yuan Chong was looking at the sword hilt in his hand in shock. This sword was from the Forgery Hall's elite collection, yet now, it was broken just like that. He couldn't believe his eyes. All he had seen was a white flashing light and his sword was broken before he knew it. By now, though, he finally reacted and looked coldly at Yi Mo before asking, "Who are you? How dare you break the rules?" Yi Mo flicked his flying sword and said plainly, "Are you deaf? Did you not hear Xiaoyun call me husband?" Yuan Chong had already decided that Mu Xiaoyun was his, so now that she suddenly had a husband, this made Yuan Chong furious. How dare this fellow steal his woman? "You're King asking to die, you dare take my woman, I'll make you regret coming into this world." Before he could continue his threats, he was instantaneously slapped on the face a couple of times. His mouth was covered in blood as even a couple of his teeth flew out. Yi Mo then stopped his hand as he saw a shield-shaped card on Yuan Chong's belt. He immediately grabbed it. Yi Mo looked at it and saw the words Tai Yi. "So that was you." Yi Mo's voice went ice cold. "Stop!" Two yells sounded as two half-step Great Heaven Masters landed on the stage. Yi Mo didn't seem to hear them and asked Yuan Chong in a cold voice, "A few years ago, did you go outside and hit a girl in Ninghai? How do you know?" Yuan Chong looked at Yi Mo in shock and asked subconsciously, "Ha ha ha. You ran into me without me having to look for you." Yi Mo laughed. Ning Qingxue would have died if he hadn't given her the necklace and she hadn't lost her memories because of this trash. And today, this scum wanted to kill Mu Xiaoyun too. How could Yi Mo let him go? "Ignorant fool, you're asking to die." The two half-step Great Heaven Masters saw Yi Mo laugh in madness on the stage and couldn't hold back anymore. Two fist shadows smashed towards Yi Mo. Two mere half-step Great Heaven Fellows dared be cocky in front of him? Yi Mo didn't even look as he punched with both fists, and their inner chi auras clashed. Yi Mo's fists broke through the inner chi of his two attackers and smashed their chests. The two flew out of the stage spewing blood immediately. When the two fell off the stage, they covered their chests with their hands and looked at Yi Mo in shock. Clearly, Yi Mo didn't use his full power there or they would have died. They were sure that even a Great Heaven Master wouldn't be able to injure them this easily, yet this young man had. Tai Yi Sect's vice sect leader Qi sneered and said to Elder Jin, "Bring Yuan Chong back." "Yes." Elder Qi quickly glided down. Although he had witnessed Yi Mo's power, with his Great Heaven middle stage power, he would easily capture this youth. Before Elder Jin could come up, Yi Mo pulled up the flag beside the stage and said to Yuan Chong, "I'm the husband of the girl you beat then, and today, you attacked my wife Xiaoyun as well. Consider this me letting you die a knowing death." "What?" Yuan Chong's face was destroyed already, but the shock in his eyes was still visible at Yimo's words. He just told his master that it had been a few years and it didn't matter anymore, but now, the girl's husband had appeared. But he soon reacted. This was the hidden sect's biggest tournament ground, and his master was in front of him. His master wouldn't let him suffer. He laughed out loud. You're about to die yet you're still saying bullsh *t. If you're smart, give me your woman and perhaps I might beg my master to let you live. Oh really? Yimo glanced coldly at that elder Jin who just came on stage and suddenly kicked Yuan Chong heavily in the chest. Yuan Chong suddenly felt himself flying. 20 meters from the stage stood a bell tower. It was a 10-meter tall huge rock and at the top it had a bell. This bell was for the tournament. Yimo kicked Yuan Chong into the bell tower and turned the flagpole from beside the stage into 5 segments before throwing them after Yuan Chong. Dong 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 dong, the bell shook. In front of everyone's eyes, on the rock was nailed a man. It was Yuan Chong who had just been kicked out. 4 segments had nailed Yuan Chong's ligaments, while the last piece had nailed his throat. The scene turned silent. Everything had happened too fast. Everyone knew all hell was about to break loose now. Yuan Chong had been killed in front of Vice Sect leader Qi in public. Everyone knew that Yuan Chong was actually Vice Sect leader Qi's illegitimate child. That coupled with his excellent talent, he had a very important position in Vice Sect leader Qi's heart. Such a person was nailed and killed in such an insulting manner. How could Tai let this go? It's over. Elder Jin looked at Yuan Chong, and his hands and feet went cold as he had the biggest responsibility. You're asking to die. An absolutely furious voice sounded as a skinny old man flew onto the stage like a big bird coming for its prey. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.